Awesome, awesome, awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, all right. First and foremost, TGIF to everybody in the building and good afternoon. Beautiful. All right, all right. Give me 1 minute. As you can see, this is Third Eye Fridays. We were going to be doing something yesterday, but some things got in the way and I didn't want to do the super duper late show. So here we are on this Friday, giving it up for the people out there who are just punching the clock, you know what I mean? Putting in all of that work and whatnot. Today is your day. You know what I'm talking about? You get to go home and and take a break, a few days off or whatever you got to do. We are here. It is Friday. And it's Third Eye Friday. We got a few things that we're gonna be talking about today. Of course, as with everything, there's always something going on. So we'll cover some things that's going down in the news and whatnot that I feel that we should know about. Also make a few announcements. We do have Melanin Mondays IRL. That's coming up on Monday, and we have a featured guest. We are bringing our good sister Six the Goddess to the stage, and I will get you familiar with Six the Goddess if you're not familiar with her before the end of this show. You know what I mean? I will familiarize everybody in attendance with the good sister and with the work that she does because it's very important to highlight anybody that I find in this community who is consistent. You know what I mean? Everybody's not going to agree with the message, and that's okay because we're not a monolithic people. Um, will I what I won't do, what I won't do is I don't think that I will platform anybody who I deem as very toxic and anti. Yeah, I'm a man, so we can't do the anti-man shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. Well, to be honest with you, let me take that back. Let me take that back. Let me rewind that tape. To be honest with you, I would platform a man hater. I would platform somebody who, advocates for the murder of men. I would platform someone who is on record saying that they hate men, right? Hate is a strong word. I want to know what's going on. I have questions to ask. I'm not one of those people who like to nitpick at anyone. I know that there's a lot of people out there in this world that are going through wild trauma and they are survivors of traumatic experiences. There's people who've been abused, they've been taken advantage of. There's people who've been treated like the bottom of people's foot, you know what I mean? Like dirt. And I'm aware of that. So knowing that, I'm not here to judge because people have dispositions that they carry in life and whatnot. And often, because of those dispositions, they are sometimes sucked into what is known as the rabbit hole of, of other organizations. Case in point, there's sisters that are out here who've been done dirty by men, right? And as a result of that, they haven't gotten any type of what you call um justice. And because of the fact that they haven't received justice, there's an open wound, there's no healing and whatnot. Then there are echo chambers that exist on social media and on the internet. They kind of like it's like a dog whistle, and they're drawing people who have been hurt into the fold with the dog whistle, right? So they are catching the ears, catching the hearts and minds of women and men who are out here hurting and whatnot, and then they bring them into the fold. And sometimes the fold that they're being brought into is a fold that's not dealing with healing. It's not dealing with quote unquote conflict resolution. It's not dealing with meeting people in the middle. It's dealing with retaliation. It's dealing with basically, expressing the pain and the hurt that they've been through. And that's understandable. And to be honest with you, you gotta you have to give it its rightful place, right? But over here, I'm not perfect. This platform is not 100%. I don't even know what perfect is. I don't know what a perfect platform is. I have no idea. If you ever found that out, if you know what that is, let me know so I can enlighten oneself. However, however, what I do know, right, is that we attempt to get to the root of the problem over here. I would definitely say that Know the Ledge, Know the Ledger, Know the Ledge Media. If you run our track record, if you were to quote unquote ask around, or if you were to take our archives and listen to every episode, it will show you there's actually tools out there where you can run everything and it'll tell you the percentage of negativity that takes place versus the percentage of positivity. And we are about solving problems over here. And from what I'm looking and from what I'm seeing and what I'm observing and also what I'm hearing is that there happens to be a lot of problems that are unresolved in our community. And I don't mean the conscious community either. The community that I'm referring to more so is melanated men and women. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe. No woman is safe. You're not safe in this war. People is taking this shit serious and whatnot. They are wishing, it's a lot of negative energy that's being poured into this war. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. He comes to mind when I think about the war. I feel that he left too soon. For anybody out there who felt that he left on time, I would say to you, you may have to re-examine that statement. Because once again, I remember when the man made transition and I was making my tours around the internet and whatnot, and I ran across these same groups that I spoke of a little while ago that has been responsible for weaponizing the minds of women, demonizing men in the eyes of women, adding on to a lot of the toxicity. You feel me? Creating what is known as a war of the roses on the internet, right? All of this back and forth, all of this negative energy. You dig? All of that negative energy. So I saw people shooting at Kevin Samuels. They were celebrating his untimely demise. They were making jokes and everything. But I would say to them, and I would say to those, he had more years to evolve into who he was ultimately becoming. Not to say that the character that he presented to us was super flawed and whatnot, but I did a deep dive on Kevin Samuel after he made transition, right? I did the deep dive on him. I did my research. I was one of those people who was very judgmental of him when he was alive because I was really getting the sound bites. I never really sat through a whole Kevin Samuels broadcast. I was getting the sound bites. I was catching them on World Star. I was really listening to the interviews that were going viral because they were controversial. But when I did my research on him and I went all the way back, he has a YouTube channel, I believe. I went all the way back to before he became the character that we knew. His previous character before that was about image. He was an image consultant. He was dealing with what glasses should men buy and what cologne should they wear to quote unquote attract. He was on his metrosexual Atlanta shit. To be honest with you, he was on his metrosexual Marietta type shit. Like niggas in Marietta and people that live past Phipps and the 400, they tend to be wild metrosexual. They got, they get I'm just saying. They're on, they wear like shoes with no socks type shit. You know what I mean? Slight high waters. No disrespect, but there's an aesthetic that they're known to have. And he was representing shit like that. You got the men that are like day traders, you know what I mean? They wear the man purses and shit like that. They might be, they call it tailored, but it might be a little huggy and whatnot. Shit like that. That's what he was into. He was talking to those brothers. Then he shifted into the godfather of who he was. But what I'm saying is this: if he started out with one character and then it morphed into another character, who is to say that wasn't going to morph into another character? My insight was my whole foresight was like, yo, if he found a woman who would be equally yoked to him, like there's a lot of powerful women in Atlanta, contrary to popular belief. There's some there's some steppers out here. There's some very desirable, very powerful, very intellectual, very quote unquote, sought after alpha women, right? I feel that he was qualified to bag one of those type of women. You dig? But that never happened. He never got his time. He didn't get the opportunity to mature. He didn't get the opportunity to evolve. He didn't get the opportunity to blossom into the person that I feel that he was ultimately supposed to blossom into. I don't feel that this was his quote, this was his calling, the person that we knew, that the world knew and whatnot. But he still had time to grow, and he got his time got cut short. So the person and the message and everything that he stood for gets frozen in time when you have a premature death, right? You don't get time. You don't have the ability to evolve. You don't have the capabilities to become ultimately who you ultimately are destined to become. You die young, you know what I mean? And you die on the hill that you die on. So as a result of him making transition, his message has now been crystallized and a lot of people have run with it. And I don't think nobody is ever going to fill those shoes. I haven't heard of a name and I haven't seen somebody who basically, captures my attention and comes across as genuine. Not to say that he was 1,000% genuine, but the way that he was able to stand on his square, it just was like he was in his character for real, for real. A lot of these new dudes that are coming through and they're like, yeah, it's wild ego. The shit is not hitting. It's a lot of, you know what I mean? The shit is like low key pimpery, no disrespect. No disrespect. I'm about solutions though. For real, you feel me? And it's not happy go lucky in my world, but I'm about effective communication. I feel that the two genders owe it to themselves to sit down, humble themselves, be more modest, and have a goddamn conversation from the heart. You know what I mean? From the heart, not an ego-based conversation about who could pop shit better than the next one. Because there's a lot of talking points that men could throw out there. Then there's a lot of talking point that women could throw out there to make each one of us seem like we the big, like we got big kahunas and whatnot. At the end of the day, we need each other. I don't give a damn what nobody says. We need each other and we deserve each other. And there's nobody out here that qualifies to take any one of our places. There's no man out there of any nationality. I don't give a damn what nobody say. There's no man walking this earth, no man or no men who could match what black men bring to the table to their women or melanated men, whatever you want to call it. There's nobody. And then there's nobody on this planet that could do what the melanated woman does with her man. No one. We are equal. We are perfectly yoked. You know how people is like, nah, it's time to divest and whatnot. I'm not hating on nobody to divest. You know, no judgment towards anyone. For real, for real. You know what I mean? I did Melanin Monday the other day. We did the IRL, the last episode, and the brother, a Moor, he came through with his seeds and his wife, who was not a Moor, right? I don't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It's love all the way around the border. I welcomed him, I welcomed his wife, and I welcomed their child. Like, what the hell? What do you think this is? You know what I'm talking about? Like, people get things confused when individuals have a preference. I'm sharing my preference in 2024. That's my preference. You know, I prefer to be with a woman who's never been with any other man from any other nationality. That's just my preference. You know what I mean? That's just what I'm on right now. That don't take nothing away. I don't want a woman who's been out there, who's been with somebody from a nationality to feel threatened or feel attacked or feel shamed. That is not what we talking about. And we are not going there. You know what I'm talking about? It is not that serious. Because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, we wouldn't have had nothing to do with each other anyway. You know what I'm talking about? So it's not that serious. Okay. But while we on the topic and while we discussing who this sister is and why it's important for our women to have a voice and whatnot, and the fact that we bringing her to Melanin Mondays in the West End so she could speak her speech, you know what I mean? She could speak her piece and she could have a voice. Let me introduce you to the sister real quick, in case you may not have in case nobody has ever heard of her. Okay, here we go.
Can cook, has good nurturing skills.
Let me know if y'all can hear the audio because I got it on mute. But let me know if it's picking up if you can hear it. If not, I'll have to switch things up. Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear the sister, the sistren. Okay, you can hear. Cool. Can't hear no more?
No, I was playing at first, but then it cut off.
All right, hold on. That might have been me. Let me.
Broke and never been to college, but is fine as hell, can cook, has good nurturing skills, good in bed, will always get the better man than the woman who makes hella bread, is hella accomplished, but she is totally out of touch with her womanly side and role. It's women right now making tons of money, A+ credit, business rolling, while you're gone at work all day. Your man is cheating with a woman who's unemployed and makes him feel like a man. When a woman says, oh, they don't want me independent because I don't gotta take his ish. Basically what she's saying is that if I have my own everything, I can talk to you any kind of way. It means I can have other men. I got my own money, got my own car, that right there should disqualify a woman from being the wifey, the face card. We as women should all be functioning as adults. Money, credit, transportation, housing, that's called being a grown adult. A woman who is broke and never been to college, but is fine as hell, can cook, has good nurturing skills, good in bed, will always get the better man than the woman who makes hella bread, is hella accomplished, but she is totally out of touch with her womanly side and role. It's women right now making tons of money, A+ credit, business rolling, while you're gone at work all day. Your man is cheating with a woman who's unemployed.
My bad. Damn, the mute was on. Let me say what I was gonna say. That the comment section was lit. You know what I'm talking about? The comment section was kind of lit in that video. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say, right? We are gonna focus on the message and we'll probably focus on the messenger as well. This is one of those uncomfortable conversations that we're going to have on Monday. We're gonna put it out all on the table. We're gonna put it all on the table. You know, there's rumors of this sister being involved with Kevin Samuels. That's not really my business. However, I gotta ask questions, correct? Um, the aim of what I have for the month of February, the aim of what I'm doing is I am aiming to have conversations that are uncomfortable, but they're dealing with solutions and they're dealing with the affairs of the heart. I'm aiming to bring some type of solutions to the table. Henceforth, why I have this sister, Six Goddess, coming through on Monday, and then 2 more Mondays from that, I got a good brother named Brick City Buddha, right? Him and his wife, they deal with a lot of therapy for couples, and he spits a lot of stuff for men who are looking for some type of counseling to help improve their lives. The brother's very transparent. He's been through a lot. You feel me? But he lives his life out in public on social media with his wife, whether it's their ups and their downs. He's showing multiple people how that shit works. You thought that her hair, yeah, yeah. You know, ask the questions that will get answers. I definitely will. And because this is people who are going to be joining us, y'all are going to be joining from Zoom. You're going to be joining from far away. So what I even would reach with my olive branch to the online community for the KT aliens who will be online, submit some questions. Submit some questions. If you have some questions that you want some answers to, and you want me to ask the sister the questions, go ahead and submit them. You know, most of y'all, we on Patreon, so you could inbox me on Patreon, or you could get at me on IG. You know what I mean? It didn't stop you before, so hit me with the question, and I'll be more than pleased to ask the sister what's really good. You feel me? Was really good. Once again, I ain't here to judge, but I'm definitely here to smudge, and I'm here to have conversations. I'm not here to have easy conversations either, because I'm going to ask the good brother some very hard questions about men and relationships and where men stand these days in relationships. I'm going to ask the sister some very hard questions about relationships, about cheating, about infidelity, about all of these things. So I want y'all to definitely be in the building on Monday. This is very important. This means a lot. I'm answering the cries that I get in my inbox. I'm answering the cries of the phone calls that I get and the text messages and the please help me. And I'm going through this and I'm going through that. I'm answering the cries from some of the consultations that I do. Okay. Walking people from off of the ledge. And 60%, I would say, has to do with the affairs of the heart. 60%. And when I say the affairs of the heart, what I'm talking about, you don't got to be in a relationship to be going through the affairs of the heart. Right now, I'm going through what is known as the dark night of the soul, right? This is the winter time. As a Scorpio, I can't, it's hard to explain the shit that we go through during the winter. It's really hard. You know what I mean? Just take my word on it. It's intense. Okay. It's called a dark night of the soul, right? So there's people who are going through the dark night of the soul and they don't have no mate. They don't got no partner and whatnot. But the affairs of the heart, they have heart issues. They have broken hearts. Some people are healing their hearts. Some people want love. Their hearts are feeling like they want someone to, they want that feeling of love and whatnot. So they're yearning for a connection. Okay. They're yearning for a connection. They're yearning for somebody to complete the cycle with. There's people out there who got everything going for them, but they need a mate. You know what I mean? They need somebody who is going to be on quote unquote levels with them versus kicking it with a shorty who they don't have no commonalities with. Okay. They're not equally yoked because they can't talk to that person about none of the shit that they're learning from the teachers and whatnot. They can't talk to that person about none of the things that they're learning about themselves. They may be discovering who they are, and you can't even talk to the person whose head is on a pillow right next to you, type shit. You know what I mean? Affairs of the heart. It's real. Okay. Affairs of the heart affairs of the heart could be the difference between somebody being in total peace or somebody living a life that's fully tortured and whatnot, going through full torture because you don't like it here. You're not happy here. You don't like none of the things that are going on. Even though you may be showered with blessings and blessings, you got these babies all around you. You got people in your inbox that want you, right? You got men that want you. You got women that want you. But if your heart is not healed, if you haven't gotten over somebody, then you can't offer nobody nothing. I've been there. I know what it feels like. Okay. I know what that shit feels like. Affairs of the heart. There's about 99 examples that we could talk about. I'm just giving you one scenario. Okay. Affairs of the heart. So if we begin to address the affairs of the heart, right, and we bring people on who have answers, who could give you experience, who could give you some type of consultation, who could give you some therapeutic outtakes and whatnot. In my in my little minds of minds, I'm like, if one person is helped in the audience, then it's a good February for me. You feel me? If I could bring two people together, then I feel like a better man. You dig what I'm saying? I can't do everything. I do a lot of shit on my own, bro, with no help, with no assistance, with no nothing but a fucking pat on my back. And I can't eat pats. You know what I mean? I do a lot. And I do it because I want to. I don't do it because I have to. I do it because I want to. And what I want to do is I want to bring melanated people together. You feel me? I don't want to be responsible for them because at the end of the day, you know, I'm not that's just not my power. You know what I mean? I can't be responsible for nobody, but I gotta work on being responsible for myself. You know what I mean? And I got children that I gotta worry about. Once we get y'all together, y'all responsible for your journey and whatnot. But it would make my heart lighter. It would make me sleep more easier at night if I knew more people would get into their peace, into their happiness, because all of this shit is cool. But at the end of the day, right? What is it for? You know what I mean? I don't encourage loneliness. That's not what I stand on. There's some people that's out there like, girl, you don't need no man. You could die lonely. You know what I'm saying? You could just work until you fucking die. You could just work till it's all said and done. You could go ahead and big up all of these CEOs and make their lives and put their children through college and make their wives happy. You could give all your sweat equity to these men, right? But you good, sis. You don't need no man. I'm of the thought that that's some erroneous, feministic, that's not what our people was talking about at post seven, from like the 70s and backwards. They wasn't on that type of time. You feel me? They wasn't on that type of time. So I don't know where that shit comes from. Rumor has it Gloria Steinem and a whole bunch of CIA operatives and a whole bunch of Khazarian small hats, they was responsible for pushing that poison on our people and whatnot. And then the exploitation of Hollywood and the music industry on top of other things, it's the same people. It's the same people. And I don't like always pointing fingers at one group of people, but God damn it. And I'm not saying it's lonely by not having a mate. Let me rephrase that so nobody feels offended like I'm throwing shots. I was on my own for a long time. I'm not saying that it's lonely. I am a proponent of people finding love. That's just who I am. You know, I'm a proponent of people being in love and finding love and being equally yoked and being together. That's how I feel. And you don't got to be married. You don't got to be none of that. Do you think being with the wrong person could be more detrimental than being alone? Hell yeah. You got to be, if you with the wrong person and the shit is detrimental to your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, and all other things, you got to cut that shit off eventually. And then you have to heal. And that healing, that time for healing is going to be time with self. It's going to be time with self. I took 1 year of healing. I was healing, but I was in a sunken place. One, like I was fucking healing and I was like, on cloud number 9, bro. I was healing and I was in a sunken place. And you know, and then things changed. You know what I mean? I guess I manifested what I needed at the time. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. But I was down bad, bro. I was down bad. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I was down bad. You feel me? I had the love of my children. The fact that I knew that I had love from somebody that wasn't, one of my a mate. I had unconditional love from my little ones. I was able to function with that. I was able to function with that. I applaud all of the married couples that are out there who are able to maintain and hold it together. I know that it's a rocky road. Y'all dealing with social media, y'all dealing with social media, y'all dealing with a new energy. There's all of this disruption that's going on. There's all of these new agendas at play. You feel me? There's a lot of shit going down. So it's not as easy as your parents' era when they was coming up and they only had 4 channels on TV. There's 500 channels. There's 10 million websites. There's 100,000 niggas running through DMs and whatnot. It's different. So salute to all of the happy couples that are out there maintaining their union and whatnot. We salute you. We salute you. And once, yeah, like Bang said, you 41 trying to win in this wicked game by any means necessary, right? And people be like, yeah, shit. I'm gonna fight this war, right? I'm gonna get through, especially like once again, how they duped a lot of our women going up in corporate America, right? You not corporate America. That's not a home for you. They don't like you in corporate America. Corporate America was basically spitting on your grandparents and snuffing them. You know what I mean? Pouring drinks on their heads and whatnot. Corporate America is not a home. It's not a destination. It's toxic. It's a toxic environment, right? And they have people thinking that they're going to navigate through corporate America and through this quote unquote matrix, right? This crazy ass world. But then it's also a catch-22 to that. You don't want to navigate the war with somebody who turns around and be Agent Smith, motherfucker that's working against you. So it's like I could do bad on my own. I could fight this shit on my own because the worst feeling is to go to war with somebody. Come to find out they're a traitor. They're a traitor, right? So it's a wicked game out there. The shit is wicked on many fronts. I wish everybody success in their journey. I wish you all success in your journey because to me, that's very serious. I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know, it's very serious. And if we could bring people on the show who could give insight, right? We ain't talking about experts in relationships and stuff like that. We could go there. I'm not necessarily, that's not what I'm doing for the month of February. I'm not bringing experts. I'm bringing experience and I'm bringing wisdom. You feel me? I'm bringing people who are not afraid to answer questions. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Because to get past some of the shit that we got to get past, you got to be able to answer some questions. You got to be able to answer some questions without sugarcoating it, and without quote unquote giving me some politically correct shit, because I don't need that. You feel me? I do not need that. You know, Foxy Moon said corporate is not the end game. I agree. Especially, I mean, like watching Monique on Shay Shay on Club Shay Shay. You know, watching that girl crying, right? What's her name? Taraji, young Taraji, right? Watching all of the people in the industry, like the music industry, really begin to be transparent and honest about how broke they really are and how much they've been getting robbed over the years. Because one, they didn't know how to read. Two, they didn't listen to people who were warning them. Three, they were quote unquote, they bit the dangling carrot. They bit the carrot. Them people dangled the carrot and they bit it. Right. So where are they now? And the TV show Unsung comes to mind because they have a laundry list. They have a laundry list of our people who they've done super duper dirty, right? There's more that they've done dirty than they've done good. There's more that they've done dirty than they've done good. And what I'm speaking of is corporate America. People call it the industry. No, my genius. Sony is corporate America. Universal is corporate America. BET, VH1, and all of that, Viacom, my friend, they call it the industry, but it's really corporate America. You know, it's really corporate America. So corporate America is something that is brand new to Black women, especially, and more so to Black men. But corporate America is a brand new entity that we were not necessarily interfacing with 50 years ago when they was water hosing our people, spitting on them, kicking them, right? Stepping on them, denying them, right? Access. And then somehow, some way, miraculously, we over there running in, and that's the new savior. That's the end all be all. That is the quote unquote, that's what everybody was missing. But like the Sister Six Goddess, I saw a video where she was breaking it down. And she was breaking down just the basic shit about how a woman, you know, what it takes for a woman just to get up and get ready to go to work, to be in corporate America, to plug into that system. You know how expensive that is. Your lunch money, your traveling money, daycare if you have the children and whatnot. There's so many factors that people are not factoring in. There's so many factors that people are not factoring in. You feel me? And I'm a proponent of this. Let me share something with you so we don't get it miscrewed. And I'm not trying to take women out of the workforce. I'm not one of those traditionalists. I am, me personally, I am a proponent, right? Meaning that I'm a cheerleader, meaning that I am vehemently behind couples being the brand. I say this all the time. There's nobody on the planet that brands a brand better than a Black woman or a melanated woman. White women can't even brand better than you. White women do not dictate what's hot in music the same way that Black women do. White women do not dictate what is hot in fashion the same way that melanated women do. White women do not dictate which goddamn you know, when you go to the store, what products are popping. Y'all do that. Y'all brand brands because you're the mother of everything. So you are the ones who co-sign and breathe life, and you stamp shit. When you stamp it, it's stamped. A bro start rapping. He rapping about killing shit, spinning the block, selling drugs. The minute he make a woman's song, he's out of here. Why? Because whatever y'all focus on, whatever you give your attention to, whatever you give your cosign to, whatever you put your heart energy into, it's going to grow. The same way when you cancel somebody and you pull the plugs, the motherfuckers are dead in the water. There's nothing that they could do. They have to recreate themselves and get in with another niche of women and whatnot. Case in point, the baby. You know, the baby. You know, the baby. Remember when the baby got canceled and whatnot, and they wasn't fucking with him no more? What did he have to direct? He had to go directly to raunchy women, the sexy red types. I don't dance no more. Or he went to the hood rats. He didn't go to the bougie chicks. He didn't go to his baby mama. He went right to his core. He didn't go to black men. He went to the fucking thoughts. He went to the hood rats. And that's what brought him back. Gay men. That's when people are so misconstrued and they think that women co-signing something or women believing in you is a sexual thing. It is not. Ask your favorite gay dude. It is not. They get all of the grace from women and whatnot, and they not piping them. The women give them grace and favor because they love them. Heart energy. They co-sign these niggas and they blow them up. They wouldn't be nothing without the cosign of black women. Wait till the day the black women start turning their backs on men who don't like women and whatnot, and watch and see what happens to them. Okay? They're getting cosigns. The rappers getting cosigns. The R&B singers getting cosigners. Ain't no R&B niggas singing to men. Frank Ocean had to pack the fuck up. You know what I mean? He couldn't even stay in the industry because he out there singing to dudes and whatnot. Women don't like that. They ain't into shit like that. They thought it was cute until they went and saw videos and see how men look when they, yeah, they not with that. A real woman ain't with that. Some of these deprived sadomasochists, traumatized, they might be into shit like that, but their hearts ain't right. If you want to see two men penetrating each other, nigga, your heart ain't right. The fuck? That's a fact. If that shit don't make you sick, then your heart ain't right. But yeah, women cosign, they are the stamps. They stamp shit. They stamp it because they have the Midas touch. Corporate America knows this. Edward Bernays and the people behind public relations and all of they knew this. The madmen, meaning the advertisers on Madison Ave, they call them madmen, Madison Avenue men. Those were the people who are behind these multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns, right? Of course, they use white women at first, but black women after. When you crunch the numbers, I did my research. When you crunch the numbers, it may look like European women. It may look like that, but no, it's melanated women above European women when it comes to being tastemakers and stamping shit. That's what y'all do. That's what y'all do. So I say all of that to say this. Why don't you stamp your husband? Or your man, go find one and stamp him, right? Go stamp that nigga who you went on a Tinder date. Because if you're going to give him the cookies, you might as well stamp him. And if you're not going to give him the cookies, then you could still stamp him and see what he does with that quote unquote stamp and whatnot. And if he acts crazy, then you don't give him the cookies. But why are you not stamping men? Why are you not stamping black men in their businesses? Why are you not stamping black men in their services? Why are you not stamping black men in their products and whatnot? I need mine to be my biggest cheerleader, like she was for that white man that she was working for, damn near getting a tattoo of the fucking job on her neck, right? Putting in all that, calling a white man a boss, calling a goddamn a Peckerwood a boss, calling him a boss. Do you know that y'all made their members grow just by calling them bosses? Do you know that you helped evolve this monkey? Just by calling them a boss, you boosted their egos. You made their hair grow, okay? You put years on their lives. They was dying mad young before. They had existential crises. You know what I mean? They didn't have no purpose. Remember that women had to revolt against them. That women's suffrage don't got nothing to do with black men. Okay? That was white women who was not being satisfied by their evil ass husbands because their husbands were so goddamn infatuated with black men and cutting their Johnsons off, right? And examining what the fuck made us tick, right? And keeping they were so obsessed with keeping their women off of us that they treated their women like animals, right? And their women were suffering. They were not being pleased by these men, okay? They did not like these men. They were trying to run away from these men. These men were treating their sisters and their mamas and their baby mamas like dirt before recently. This was a recent occurrence. And then white women hoodwinked our women to be a part of that bullshit, and they didn't have to be a part of it. It had nothing to do with you. Once again, you the help, you the glorified help. You're a battery. You know what I mean? And these people are feeding off of you. And I'm here to let you know, you better give back Caesar's what the fuck is his and take your power back. Stop pointing the fingers at us all of the time. Why don't you take your power back from this people? Right? It's not us at the end of the day. They hoodwinked you to be a part of this system, and this system eats its young. So your children were the ones that got eaten by the system while you was at work, right? And this is not something that you didn't necessarily create this condition. This condition was created for you. Do you know who Patrick Moynihan is? Do you know who Patrick Moynihan is? Not Patrick Mahomes, not the nigga in the Super Bowl. Patrick Moynihan. Okay? He was a politician. Okay? He was a politician who wrote a paper called a Negro Problem. Okay? He wrote a paper called a Negro Problem, right? And the Negro Problem is the shit that set the whole tone, right? For the movie that you saw. What's that movie, Claudine? Remember Claudine? Where black men could not be in a house with a woman, right? They made it a sin to be in a house with your woman and whatnot. They made it a sin for black families to be together and whatnot, because in order to get the welfare, your ass had to, you can't have no man in the house. I dropped it in the chat, right? I dropped it in the chat. I didn't say gay men love black women. See, you gotta listen, fam. Listening is part. Black women love gay men. Black gay men don't. If gay men love black women, they would be with them physically, right? You gotta, you know what I mean? It's but so much. It's but so much love that a nigga have for a woman before he gets infatuated and attracted to her. They don't love women. They want to be like them. Black women love them though, because black women don't have it in their heart to hate like that. They're not gonna hate a nigga who don't want to pipe or who don't want to be because they are affectionate with women in a different way than how men who are physically involved with women are affectionate with women and whatnot. But they still give them love. I'm not saying that there's a different form. They give them affection. Black men, gay men give black women affection. They give them a shoulder to cry on. They are emotionally intelligent, more so than the average man. And they speak to their heart. They have a place in their heart that maybe some heterosexual men don't have. Go ask the women in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to ask me. But this is all from observation. I don't have to read a book on it. I just sat back and looked at it. And the favor, they give them grace and favor. That grace and favor is what helps them niggas evolve and move up the ladder in life. If they did not have that grace and favor, they would not move. They would not be moving the way that they're moving. You know? They wouldn't be moving it the way that they're moving. Why do black women think that they men though? Let's talk about that. I'm gonna drop the report once again. Go and read, my genius. Take some time out and read like how I read. You feel me? Let's start copying each other in a more positive way. Let's read. I read. Why don't you read like me? You know what I'm talking about? Let's all read together. We could read. Let me pull up the Moynihan report so we could go ahead and unpack some things because, you know, the shit is real. They literally put a report out and they followed that report to the motherfucking T. And as a result of them following that report, we find households the way that they are. He calls they call some they spotted something called behavioral sync. Okay. He forecasted a behavior. He didn't spot anything. He forecasted something called behavioral sync, right? And behavioral sync is basically what we see right now, where the behavior has sunken. Like Black America, this is all prophesized by these people called social engineers. If you don't know what the social engineers are, these are the people who plan, they socialize society and they're able to plan generations ahead. They look 100 years ahead when you only looking right around the corner to the next day, right? So once again, especially for my sisters out there, I need you to do the research on how your ass got infiltrated. I need you to do the research on how you got basically compromised. I need you to do the research on how these social engineers have engineered the Black family over. And you read with me. If you was at your job and they was like, you got to read this report, your ass would read it and whatnot. Let's read. Let's study. Because I promise you, you people are looking for healing and whatnot, and they trying to bury the hatchet of this war and they want to get away from the toxicity. Read. When you read, that shit is therapeutic. It heals. It helps to solve the problems, and it gives answers where there are none. Okay. So I don't play the blame game. I don't play the white man this. I don't play the boogeyman game, right? But what I do know is that Moynihan is Irish, right? I know that these people, right, because I do the research, I know that they were allowed to become white people because they signed a declaration that they will spend the rest of their years in America suppressing the people who they came up on, niggas, Black people. That's the Irish. That's the Jews. That's the Italians. Everybody who they 100 years ago, everybody who they basically upgraded to white society, they absorbed them into blue blood society. These were outcasts. These nationalities were considered to be the niggas of Europe. They were outcasts. They were not to climb the ladder. They climbed the ladder because you was the ladder. Okay. They became the police department, the slave patrol. They became the fire department. The fire department used to kill mad niggas back in the days. Okay. They would let your house burn and your children would be inside and they wouldn't step foot in that motherfucking house. They would just stand there and let it burn. Right. The Italians, they cut their teeth with the mafia, right? And with a whole bunch of other shit that they did against melanated people because they took policy banking from us. They took we was taking ourselves out of poverty using pennies and nickels when we were doing the numbers. We was elevating ourselves out of poverty as a whole and whatnot when we was doing the numbers. They brought the Doogie, which is the heroin. The Italian mafia brought the heroin. They show you that in the movie or the TV series, the Malcolm X TV series, The Godfather of Harlem and whatnot. They showed you how the Italian mafia was complicit by way of the CIA, right? Lucky Luciano and all of them with flooding our neighborhoods, right? Harlem to be exact, where my mother said you could eat off of the floor back in the days. That's how clean it was. When you look at the Garvey rallies and whatnot, everybody had on suits, 3-piece suits. When you look at Malcolm X and whatnot, when he was standing in front of the Apollo, niggas was not wearing hoodies and baggy jeans and whatnot. They was wearing suits, Applejack hats. They look clean. They look like they had purpose. They look determined. They don't look like that no more. They look like useless eaters and they look like cannon fodder right now. Okay. That's what they look like. And that's how they're being treated and whatnot. But this is the Moynihan report. He crunched the data. he did the research, and he basically put out a whole report on how to keep you niggas at the bottom of their feet and whatnot. That's what he did. You could doubt it all you want. You don't read. You got to read. You have to go and do the motherfucking research. You have to read these goddamn these PhD papers. You got to deep dive in order to have an opinion. Everybody got a fucking opinion these days, but they don't read. They going off of their feelings. I don't give a fuck what you feel. No disrespect. Respectfully, who the fuck cares? No, the feelings don't mean nothing. Feelings don't move the goalposts, fam. People was out there with their feelings when they was out there killing black people. What did that change? There was a lot of people emoting their feelings. What did that change? That made them rock you to sleep and be like, oh, diversity. Oh, we're going to take care of y'all. We're going to cut you a check. Psych. Nobody got nothing out of 2020. Nobody got nothing. There's nothing but some fucking rainbows on the sidewalks and shit like that. And a bunch of blended children right now. That's all that came out of that 2020 movement. So here we go. This was his report. The Negro Family, the Case for National Action, Office of Policy Planning and Research. Office of Policy Planning and Research, United States Department of Labor, March 1965. So this was right around the time when they start killing the leaders and whatnot, right? This is around the time when they started killing the leaders, right? The Negro American Revolution, the Negro American Family, the roots of the problem, the tangle of pathology, the case for national action. Let's just go to the tangle of pathology. Listen to this. This is a white man writing. This is a Democrat, mind you. This is the person who Hillary Clinton took his seat. He was in a motherfucking seat all the way up until when Barack Obama became president and beat Hillary Clinton, and they had to give that broad. No. This is before Barack. She got appointed this seat as a result of what Clinton and them was doing and whatnot. So she takes Patrick Moynihan's seat. But prior to that, he's been in power ever since. So everything that he put in policy, the same thing with Henry Kissinger, who just died this year. Henry Kissinger is basically responsible for the creation of Is It Real? He goes that far back, okay? He goes that far back with Lord Balfour and all of them. He goes all the way back to those days. Henry Kissinger been killing shit. He had his hand in Vietnam. He had his hand in a whole bunch of shit. He just died this year, 2023, matter of fact. So these people, they still be around doing all of the fuckery. Okay? The people that are running America right now is some old ass white folk who've been in power ever since the first George Bush. They've been running shit in the background since the first George Bush. They still running the show. But let me stop talking and read this article. The Tangle of Pathology. Just the title alone should show you that the Negro American has survived at all is extraordinary. Come on. So when these liberals speak about your resilience and your strength, remember this right here. I'm putting you on to some shit. Women, sisters with white men in your life, right? And I'm not dissing nobody. I'm not being facetious. Please ask your white man about the quote unquote Moynihan report. Especially if that white man is a liberal or a baby boomer. The young white people don't know shit. They dumb as rocks. I'm not talking about young white folk. If you're going to get with a white man, you should get with a white man of an older quote unquote age that has some type of fucking wisdom, at least. Don't get with these goddamn these test tube white folk. They don't know nothing. They're worse than their counterparts. At least get with some fucking class. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna compromise, at least get a white man that knows something. God damn. Y'all are with the fucking help of white people. How you gonna get with the help of white people? You with the help of white folk. They ain't even real white folk. You with Reggie white folk. Right? It's like you get you a loud pack. If anything, go get you a Jon Snow so he could enlighten you. Okay? So he can enlighten you. Because they know shit. They be holding on shit. They have the cheat code because they read reports like this. Of course, they're gonna compliment you about your nappy hair and your non-ether and your lips and whatnot. They read reports like this. They know how to come at you at the bar after you drink 2 Casamigos and start talking about cultural shit because they study and you don't. You don't even know who the predator is. You're just a prey. You're getting preyed upon, but you never studied the predator. That's an unfair fucking fight. That's an unfair fight. But anyway, the fact that so this is the playbook that they've been all playing from. The liberals, that is. The Republicans play from this playbook as well. But this report is literally a playbook. This report is a playbook. They've been running this play ever since they wrote this shit. Then they knocked off the Malcolms and the Martins who would have blew this shit the fuck out of the water and tore it up and been like, they would have picked it apart. But they got assassinated. And then what happened? They brought our people into corporate America. So they locked you in. You've been locked in ever since. You've been locked in ever since. They've been running a playbook on your ass and you've been locked in ever since. And the main target of this report is black women and the black mother, to be exact. That the Negro American has survived at all is extraordinary. A lesser people might simply have died out, as indeed others have. So he's saying that you are a greater people because they've broken and they've basically wiped out a lesser people. But like a roach, you niggas are resilient. You are strong. You can't be broken. This is your land. They can't kill you on your land. They could take you off the land and wipe you out. But it is impossible to kill a people on their land. That's how I see it. Okay? You're not doing that. But once you get people untied to the land, like they're doing by having you wear sneakers, you're not grounded to the earth. You're rejecting this land. You're like, I ain't no American. All right. Not you particularly, but the 85ers. All right. Once you cut yourself from the land, once you divorce yourself from the land successfully, then they could wipe you out. Then they could wipe you out. Because the land was holding your ass here in the first place. Nothing else. That the Negro community has not only survived, but in this political generation has entered national affairs as a moderate, humane, and constructive national force is the highest testament to the healing powers of the democratic ideal and the creative vitality of the Negro people. But it may not be supposed that the Negro American community has not paid a fearful price for the incredible mistreatment to which it has been subjected over the past 3 centuries. Now, keep in mind, they keep it real. He keeps it real with his pen. This is the 60s and whatnot. They're not as politically correct as they may have been now. Right? So he's going to give you he's going to give you, don't sit around and, oh, he's bigging us up. No, that's called sleight of hand. Okay? Don't fall for the bullshit. That's what they perfected the art of that. That's what the liberal does. He speaks to your trauma. He speaks to your he gives you that white remember, they're not even white. They just got accepted to be white. Their fucking paperwork just cleared last week. And you niggas are treating these people like there's something. Not to say that you should treat anybody white like there's something, but stop falling for the okie doke, bro. Stop it. This is a new fucking program that they got on our people's brains. This is a new program. Our ancestors, they never seen no shit like this. They wasn't subjected to how our people is running around, worshiping the lesser thans. You know these lessers that they're talking about? You know when he said a lesser people, he's talking about his people, the Irish, who got their shit broke. They broke their backs. Chimney cleaners, orphan trains, indentured servitude. They broke their backs. They could not live in the South. They broke the Irish. They broke the Italians. Okay? They broke them. That's the lesser people that he's talking about. They couldn't break you. They couldn't break the Indian or the natives or the indigenous or the African. They couldn't break you. In essence, the Negro community has been forced into a matriarchal structure, which, because it is too out of line with the rest of the American society, seriously retards the progress of the group as a whole and imposes a crushing burden on the Negro male and, in consequence, on a great many Negro women as well. I'm going to read that again. This is what they writing in the 60s. In essence, but they helped. They wrote the article and then they accelerated Black single women. That's what they did, because once they saw that it was working, right? This is the playbook. This is the playbook. The way that they write, you got to remember how liberals and how people, they're not going to write a report to be an offense against you. They're not going to write the report to be like, yeah, this is what we're going to do to these niggas. No, they're going to write the report from this perspective, from this quote unquote objective stance and whatnot. But they use the information to craft policies and to quote unquote push their agendas. Okay. So let's continue. There is let me read it again. In essence, the Negro community has been forced into a matriarchal structure, which, because it is too out of line with the rest of American society, seriously retards the progress of the group as a whole. And it imposes a crushing burden on the Negro male and, in consequence, on a great many Negro women as well. So 1965, they wrote that, right? Fast forward, there's about 100 million Black people that died in the streets after this article came out. Was it? If you ask your people, we wasn't dying like that before this. Niggas was dying. You know, people die every day, B. We wasn't dying like dogs in the street, though. We wasn't dying like that. I promise you. You better go ahead and read the records. We wasn't dying like that. They didn't have an epidemic of us dying like that. This is some new shit that came after they killed the leaders. Okay. And after they compromised our people to basically, assimilate into their toxic, malfunctioning, what's another word? The burning house that MLK was talking about. The burning house is white society, European society that never atoned for their Holocaust and their genocide against our people. And actually, they continue to do it after we assimilated into their quote unquote system, because our assimilation into their system made their system stronger. It made it stronger, it made it more prosperous. It made it more quote unquote acceptable around the world. It gave them more, it gave them a soul. Our people gave them a soul. America was soulless before integration. How about that? How about that? When you look at all of them old pictures, them white people was wearing black and white. They was not wearing no color. They all looked the same. They was looking like Pleasantville. They all looked like robots. They all had this face where it looked like they were possessed by some type of entity. They was not smiling. They was not glowing. They did not have melanin. Okay. They all dressed the same. They was hitting a women over the head like fucking cavemen, right? This is all before the 60s. And then they start taking LSD and shrooms and whatnot. And they wanted to be like fucking Indians, so that they become hippies and then they become colorful and whatnot. Then they have the sexual revolution, the counter revolution, or the counterculture revolution. And the counterculture revolution, free sex. That's how that free sex. That's how a lot of black men started piping white women, right? Because before that, your ass was gonna get hung. But the free sex revolution, the free drugs, and all of that Woodstock type shit, that is the beginning of Europeans having a goddamn soul. And we were the ones that gave them that. And then, of course, the music and other things helped that, but they didn't have that before we integrated into their society. Okay. This happened very fast too. So let me continue reading. There is presumably no special reason why a society in which males are dominant in family relationships is to be preferred to a matriarchal arrangement. However, it is clearly a disadvantage for a minority group to be operating on one principle while the great majority of the population and the one with the most advantages to begin with is operating on another. Let me take this sentence and just unpack that real quick. So he is admittingly saying that societies that are run by the matriarch, right? Like how America was before they invaded, like how the USA or what they call Northwest Mexico, we were run. It was a matriarchal society ran by the clan mothers, right? We had matriarchal society. The woman was the grandmother, the mama and whatnot. She was respected. He's saying that, you know, I'm not saying that there's no reason why matriarchal can't run shit. However, he's saying that in America, in the 60s and whatnot, it's a disadvantage for the minority group, meaning melanated people, to be operating on one principle, that principle being the matriarch, when the great majority of the population, that's white, what they call dominant society or the white majority and whatnot, are operating on a whole nother principle. And what is that whole nother principle? The nuclear family, right? That's the principle that they were running off of. White women have to get married. White men have to marry their women. They were running off of the nuclear family. So they were running off of the nuclear family paradigm, and we were running off of the, I don't need no man in this house type shit. I'm getting welfare, right? I'm not with no man. I'm just, it's just us, right? So he said, this is the present situation of the Negro. Ours, he's talking about European society. Ours is a society which presumes male leadership in private and public affairs. The arrangements of society facilitate such leadership and reward it, right? A subculture, that's what they call in our culture, such as that of the Negro American, in which that is not the pattern, is placed at a distinct disadvantage. So even though some people are hypochondriacs and they love to be clinically diagnosed by Europeans and white coats, I'm here to say, fuck that. Fuck that. You don't need, you don't belong to a beggar nation. They can't fix you. They can't fix you. They can't even fix themselves and whatnot. They're not better than you. They're not above you. This is the way the society has painted the picture, but it's never, ever been like that. Don't fall for the okie dokes. So what he's saying is, in public, our society presumes that male leadership in public and in private affairs. So we talking about what the lodges, right? The fraternal orders, the Masonic orders, the everywhere where they take an oath, right? In private, right? Private equity, private businesses, private organizations. So men at the helm, at the leadership, America is built like that. They don't got no private Masonic lodges where fucking women is running that shit, bro. Don't fall for the okie doke. They don't have no private affairs where they're discussing war and whatnot, and they got some fucking women in the room. That's not how America does it. No disrespect to women. It might be like that now after after they've implemented other quote unquote, policies and whatnot. But back in those days with Roosevelt and FDR and Nixon and all of these presidents and all of these cabinets with the CIA, nigga, what? It's ran off of private. The government is a bunch of odd fellows from the lodge, from private. They come into public to do what they do, but they all get together in private. Of course, you got the Eastern Stars and things like that, but that's like how, that's the help. You have the Daughters of the American Revolution. That's the help too. You know what I mean? They do the dirt, They keep shit popping, but that's understood that that's the help. They're not equals. That's not how white men is getting down. That's not how they run their government. And even with all of that shit that they did with Gloria Steinem, it's a fucking CIA psyop. It's a CIA psyop. So feminism and all of that is a psyop. So they've already plotted out all of the scenarios, the Hegelian dialect that goes with that. Nothing is happening that they don't know, that they haven't planned for, that they don't have solutions to. You know, they play chess, but they got the goddamn they got the cheat codes on how to basically get out all of the goddamn moves. And you're not playing chess. You don't even know that they have these manuals. We don't even know that they've planned this shit many, many decades before some of us was even born. Right? But we got to speak about these things and we have to put it out there and whatnot. So many of us could begin to demystify this shit because it's not it's only mystified when you don't know about it. It only has power when it's quote unquote when it's in the unknown. The minute you lay eyes on it, you collapse the wave. The minute you read the minute you discover something, you take away you take away the power, you dilute it. So that's what we're doing right now. We're diluting the power of the policy that we know they have implemented over the years and whatnot to suppress a whole nation of people. Here, an earlier word of caution should be repeated. There is much evidence that a considerable number of Negro families have managed to break out of the tangle of pathology and to establish themselves as stable, effective units living according to patterns of American society in general. E. Franklin Frazier has suggested that the middle-class Negro family is, if anything, more patriarchal and protective of its children than the general run of such families. 27 given equal opportunities, the children of these families will perform as well or better than their white peers. They need no help from anyone and ask none. This was in the 60s. What happened? This was in the 60s. What happened? What changed? He's giving up the cloth. He's like, look, that's why the Cosby family was so important. That's why Bill Cosby's show that came after this quote unquote report and whatnot. That's why it was a threat to the system. That's why they were like, nah, that's why Good Times, the woman had to, Florida Evans, she had to basically threaten to leave the show if they did not present to her a black husband. That's why the Jeffersons, they didn't want George Jefferson to have Wheezy and whatnot. Moving on up. So it's like, damn, these fucking shows and whatnot, they're a little bit contrary to the agenda. What are we gonna do to what are we gonna do to counter that? You know what I mean? So what do they do to counter that? Hip hop, black exploitation, and I'm not talking about the good ones. I'm talking about when they started really just exploiting us for real, pornography, drugs, Scarface, you know what I mean? Superfly, you know what I mean? Brought the men who were working men, right? Good, upstanding men and whatnot, and basically introduced or suggested that they could basically pull themselves out of poverty by getting down with the coke game, by getting down with the pimp game, by getting down with a bunch of bullshit that actually took good men, right? Good men, good stock, and it fucked it up. It put them niggas in all kind of situations that they necessarily were not being raised and reared to be in. It upended our trajectory. People went into those movies with afros and came out wearing perms, y'all. They compromised us with Superfly and they compromised us with Scarface, among other movies and whatnot. While this phenomenon is not easily measured, one index is that middle-class Negroes have even fewer children the middle class whites, indicating a desire to conserve the advances that they have made and to ensure that their children do as well or better. Negro women who marry early to uneducated laborers have more children than white women in the same situation. Negro women who marry at the common age for the middle class to educated men doing technical or professional work have only 4/5 as many children as their white counterparts. It might be estimated that as much as half of the Negro community falls into the middle class, right? Did you hear that? How was we in the middle class when they were telling us that we didn't have anything? How the fuck? This is a politician writing, so he wasn't capping. It might be estimated that as much as half of the Negro community falls into the middle class. How many of us are there now? However, the remaining half is in desperate and deteriorating circumstances. Moreover, because of housing segregation, it is immensely difficult for the stable half to escape from the cultural influences of the unstable. And I'm going to repeat that because this is where hip hop comes in. And this is why they threw billions of dollars behind the quote unquote dysfunctional aspect of society, or what they call the unsavory types, or what they would call the unscrupulous ones, because they said, well, if we put $1 billion and we, push the useless eaters to the front of the line and whatnot, if we fund to the tune of a few $1 million the unscrupulous ones, then we could do what? We could poison the minds of the middle class. We could poison the minds of the future doctors and the future lawyers and whatnot if we just entice them with this crack rock, or entice them with this bag of heroin, or entice them with this motherfucking pimp hat or this pimp cup and whatnot. And that is exactly why they began to pour a lot of resources into pushing dysfunction in our quote unquote functional middle class communities, because we was not no po ass niggas. Okay, we was not that. Do not fall for the okey doke that you was some bottom feeder, tattered and you was subservient. It wasn't even that many homeless people, fam. What the fuck happened? The children of middle class Negroes, often as not, must grow up in or next to the slums, an experience almost unknown to white middle class children. Henceforth, when they started the redlinings and when they started white flight, this is the report that helped to start white flight, because they're laying it down. They're laying it out for any developers, any city planners, any social engineers. He's giving them all of the reason and everything that they need to build their societies and to build the suburbs. That's why they ran to the suburbs after that, because the white middle class children, they had to get as far away from the slums as possible so those children could grow up and get indoctrinated into highbrow society and to do the shit that they grew up doing to our people. They would not be able to do that if they grew up next to niggas, okay? They would not be able to pull shit off if they grew up next to niggas. Let me continue. They are therefore constantly exposed to the pathology of the disturbed group and constantly in danger of being drawn into it. It is for this reason that the propositions put forth in this study may be thought of as having a more or less general application. Come on. It can't get no clearer than this. In a word, most Negro youth are in danger of being caught up in a tangle of pathology that affects their world, and probably a majority are so entrapped. Many of those who escape do so for one generation only. As things now are, their children may have to run the gauntlet all over again. This is not the least vicious aspect of the world that white America has made for the Negro. Come on, man. Obviously, Not every instance of social pathology afflicting the Negro community can be traced to the weakness of family structure, right? Study that. Social pathologies, because that is what they say that we are afflicted by. They call us sociopaths. Black men and women, you loud, you rambunctious, you just patting you're just making scenes and whatnot. You are a sociopath in their eyes. That's why they 730 you, and that's why they shoot you up with horse tranquilizers, and they basically give you 730. They put you in the um padded rooms and whatnot, right? You're a sociopath. That's why Hillary Clinton had the caucasity to come forth and she said, what? Super predators, right? Because she read this report. That's why Joe Biden came forth and did what? The crime bill, the Joe Biden crime bill. Why? Because he read this report. And not only did he read the report, he quoted it. Go and do the research. He quoted it. He quoted it when he was talking about super predators and why they had to put our people away and up in our community. He talked about the quote unquote sociopaths, and he talked about the tangled. He quoted this whole study right here, and so did Hillary Clinton. Okay, so did Bill Clinton. You know what I mean? So you're a sociopath. That's how they treat you. You're a sociopath, right? But they don't talk about them. They not talking about themselves, right? They only gonna shit on our. They want to examine and they want to diagnose our mental state. But when you diagnose their mental state or their pathologies, right? They get offended. That's when white fragility kicks in, and all of a sudden you're anti this and you're anti that. Nah, we not anti anything. We just are good observers. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let me continue. If, for example, organized crime in a Negro community were not largely controlled by whites, there would be more capital accumulation among Negroes, and therefore probably more Negro business enterprises. This is a politician, y'all. This is a sitting politician, but he's keeping it 100. And he's explaining what I was explaining a minute ago, why the Italian mafia invaded Harlem, why the Irish mafia invaded Black society, why the Jewish mafia had their hands in our people's pockets. He's saying it. If organized crime, that's gambling, prostitution, the numbers, organized crime, racketeering, if it were not largely controlled by whites, there would be more capital accumulation among Negroes and therefore probably more Negro business enterprises. If it were not for the hostility and fear many whites exhibit toward Negroes, they in turn would be less afflicted by hostility and fear and so on. There is no one Negro community. There is no one Negro problem. There is no one solution. Nonetheless, at the center of the tangle of pathology is the weakness of the family structure. Once or twice removed, it will be found to be the principal source of most of the aberrant, inadequate, or antisocial behavior that did not establish but now serves to perpetuate the cycle of poverty and deprivation. It was by destroying the Negro family under slavery that white America broke the will of the Negro people. Although that will has reasserted itself in our time, it is a resurgence doomed to frustration unless the viability of the Negro family is restored. Matriarchy, A fundamental fact of Negro American family life is the often reversed roles of husband and wife. Robert O. Blood Jr. and Donald M. Wolfe, in a study of Detroit families, note that Negro husbands have unusually low power, 28. And while this is characteristic of all low income families, the pattern pervades the Negro social structure. The cumulative result of discrimination in jobs, the segregated housing, and the poor schooling of Negro men, in 44% of the Negro families studied, the wife was dominant, as against 20% of white wives, whereas the majority of white families are equalitarian. The largest percentage of Negro families are dominated by the wife. The matriarchal pattern of so many Negro families reinforces itself over generations. This progress begins with education. Although the gap appears to be closing at the moment, for a long while, Negro families were better educated than Negro males. For this process, although the gap appears to be closing at the moment, for a long while, Negro females were better educated than Negro males. And this remains today true for the Negro population as a whole. The difference in educational attainment between non-white men and women in the labor force is even greater. Men lag 1.1 years behind women. The disparities in educational attainment of male and female youth 16 to 21 who were out of school in February 1963 is striking. Among the non-white males, 66% were not high school graduates, compared with 55% of the females. A similar difference existed at the college level, with 4.5% of the males having completed the 1 to 3 years of college, compared with 7.3% of the women. Right? I'm not going to read this whole report. You know what I'm saying? I encourage you to go ahead and get to that shit. I dropped it in the chat, and it is a good read. I would read this. You could read this on a first date, right? Test your, yeah, ladies. See if he's the one. If he could intellectualize with you, if he could break some things down, if he could read with you, then he's the one. No, I'm just playing, but you know what I mean. We should really unpack this report, because this report had a lot to do with the way that they handled our people and the way that they created policies, even the way that Hollywood has depicted us. Because even with him writing what he wrote, right? This was in the 60s. Have they made a contracted effort to bring the black family together? Because crack came after that, right? Crack cocaine came after that. The crime bill came after that. So to be honest with you, it looks like everything after that report was to perpetuate the cycle of pathology. Everything after that was to help make sure that we're 5 generations with no man in the household and whatnot, or no black family structure and whatnot. That's what it looks like. I could be reaching, but goddamn it, my arms are long enough. That's exactly what it is. So social engineering really means the fact that they have foresight how to disrupt and how to basically upend a whole society step by step by step by step in a very meticulous way. Like Neely Fuller pointed out, there's 9 different categories. They're coming at you through education. They're coming at you through sports and entertainment. They're coming at you through the medical industry. They're coming at you through so many different windows and so many different angles that you like, right? But it's an agenda. And the agenda is what? To separate us, to keep us apart. Because he just said, these are some resilient niggas. And if they was together, they would have formed Voltron and they would beat us, because the reports show that when their family unit is together, their children run circles around our children's. How about that? Right? That's what they said. I didn't say, I just read the report. I didn't write that. He did. You feel me? He read that. I mean, he wrote that. He's admitting it. They don't want to help us. You have no friends. You have no friends. You have no, I don't care how much code switching you do. I don't care how much shucking and jiving your ass is doing. I don't care how much yes sir you doing. You have no friends. Okay? And the fact that we only have, well, we all we got, we all we got. We got to bury some of these hatchets. I'm willing to admit to my wrongs in front of the world. I'm willing to atone and bury the hatchet so I can move on. I am not holding on to no type of, I'm not harboring no type of resentment, no type of hate or anything towards no black woman, no melanated woman. I won't do it. I won't do it. So for my brothers that are out there and whatnot, I'm asking you, can you let that shit go? You know what I'm talking about? Can you fucking let it go, bro? Can you let it go? Whatever you holding on to, it starts with us, I think, right? You know, be the bigger man and all of that. I think it starts with us. We sitting around waiting for women to apologize. Nigga, that ain't about to happen. Because they don't know what they did wrong. We got to apologize to them for allowing the pathology, the cycle of pathology to occur. They didn't do that. He's reading the report. The black woman, come on now. They're not the ones in the streets roaming around. It's the men. The men dropped the ball. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying we both got to take blame for shit. But who is going to apologize first? Who is going to be the bigger individual? Who is going to bury the hatchet? Who is going to say, you know what? All that shit that was going on, I forgive you. Even if you was with white man, I forgive you. Fuck it. You know what I mean? You gotta compromise something, right? You know what the compromising is? You know what, Holly Berry? We're gonna take you home. That's the big compromise. Holly, you could come home. You know what I'm talking about? Holly, you could come home. We're not gonna hold that against you. You know what I'm talking about? You wasn't focused. It's okay. Like, we got work to do. We got work to do. And it's too much distractions. It is too much distraction. Your fight is not their fight, sisters. I'm sorry. I do not mean to break up this whole Sex in the City type of shit y'all had going on. This fucking Spice Girls group that y'all was running around with at brunch. I ain't trying to break it up. I'm not trying to interfere with girl power. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to get stomped out with stilettos. But what I'm saying is, from my observation, that's not your counterpart like that. You know what I mean? The fuck? That's not your counterpart. And they fighting a war that you're not fighting. You know? I wouldn't take on their battles. I would focus on getting right with your men. You know? So the sons and the daughters could get right. That's what I would focus on. You know? Y'all running around with Kate Blanchett and Gwyneth Paltrow and whatnot. That ain't it. That ain't it. Because if that was the shit, if that was the cheat code, then shit wouldn't be what it is right now. Y'all been running with them since the 70s and whatnot. And I seriously don't see what we got from that. We just got a bunch of gatekeepers and a bunch of boule niggas like Oprah and you know, Lee Daniels and, you know what I mean? Tyler Perry, right? That's who we left with. Gatekeepers. People who are going to do everything in their power to keep your ass away from the motherfucking bag. You feel me? Which leads me to my next thing. The Monique interview, right? The Monique interview with Uncle Shay. Uncle Shay Shay. Who do you think would be a good Shay Shay for the conscious community? Like, Who could have a Shay Shay's couch? Because the conscious community needs a Shay Shay. They need a club Shay Shay in the community. Who do you think? And it don't have to be somebody from consciousness. Because look, Shannon Sharp is an athlete. And he's now integrated himself into the culture. He's an outsider inside of Hollywood and industry culture, right? He's an outsider. So how the hell did he get in? So that's the same thing. We could utilize somebody who is an outsider because it can't be me because I'm biased. It got to be somebody. Remember, Shannon Sharp isn't biased. He don't belong to any one of those billionaire boy clubs, right? He don't belong to no cliques. He don't belong to none of that shit. He's not that biased, right? So he just got the couch. He just got the couch. Somebody said Shay Shay moist as hell. I don't be looking at Shay Shay like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Shay Shay got him a nice little snow bunny. So, B.O.B. Nah, come on. What the fuck? You wildin'. Who's going to come up with a couch that could bring the people in the community who got to get their shit off? That's all I want to know. I'm just trying to see who would be a viable host or hostess. You want it to be you, Destiny? Okay. Why are you saying B.O.B.? Like, what the hell? What you see? What you think B.O.B.? You think B.O.B. is a host? You think that you gotta have the athletes are boule too, of course. You know what I mean? I mean, Shay Shay is giving slight boule. I could see him with the pinky ring. However, however, you know, um, however, it might have to be a hostess. It's whatever. You feel me? I just know that the community they need a Shay Shay. They need a club Shay Shay. They need a couch. They need a couch. And it ain't about, oh, I'm gonna spill the beans and whatnot, because but they need a couch. People need somewhere to air their grievances and whatnot. And it don't turn into a fight. Monique got on the show and she did what she was supposed to do. You know, she did what she was supposed to do. She spoke her motherfucking truth. Would you say Rich is biased? Rich couldn't be the host either. Yeah, he's biased. What you think? Um, it would have to be somebody that's not in the community. It could not be somebody in the community. It wouldn't hit the same. Like it would have to be an outsider, maybe an athlete or somebody that's intelligent though, somebody that knows some things, but it couldn't be somebody that's a part of that fold. I don't think. You know, what's the queen that I was on Black Magic with Professor Griff? Vicky Dillard, right? I could see Vicky as a host. I could see Vicky Dillard as a host. You know, Sabir Bay, so he could expose the conscious gatekeepers on a worldwide platform. Yeah, shout out to Sabir. I'm actually gonna I think he might be at Melanin Mondays and whatnot. I was gonna have him as a guest. We working on scheduling the good brother so he could share with us some of the findings on his latest European tour. You know what I mean? And yeah, Kyrie. Somebody said Kyrie. That would be fire. That would be fire. I could see Kyrie hosting it. I could see Kyrie hosting it because Kyrie is familiar with dudes. You feel me? You said Big Bang from Big Facts. You see, Big Bangs from Big Facts got conscious. He's not like conscious, but he's health conscious. He started eating right. He lost a bunch of weight. You feel me? He's not the figure that he was. I remember Big Bang when I was in Atlanta back in like '03, like '05. No, like 2012. I'm sorry, 2012, when Trouble and the other nigga Alley Cat and them was popping. Big Bank was a very dark figure in this city, bro. Big Bank was one of them names that you whisper. He was putting in, it was a lot of pain attached to his name. Let's just leave it at that. It was a lot of pain attached to Big Bank's name, and he turned that shit around. And he's not that in it. He don't got that dark energy on him right now. He don't have that shit that he had on him. Somebody said 3 stacks with his flute. Omarion, yeah, that would probably be. I think an Omarion sit down. Omarion knows some of the questions to ask because Omarion been in the background. I think that would might. I think Omarion might work. I think an Omarion could work. You feel me? That might work. You said JT, the bigger figure. Yeah, let me continue on with this conversation so we don't get into this whirlpool of these names that people are just throwing random names at us. Shout out to JP, the bigger figure, though, because he is doing big things. I respect his grind. I respect his quote unquote. I respect everything that the brother represents with the independent grind. He's a godfather of this shit. Nobody can shit on the legend JT, the bigger figure, for opening up the lane to motherfucking Tubi movies and whatnot. He's the father of the Tubi movie. The Tubi movie, just the fucking just the Tubi movie aesthetics. He's the father of the Tubi movie aesthetics. You know, you said Umar as a host. Umar as a host. Yeah, that would be crazy, right? He would be on the couch though. Shit, we need a Umar interview on the couch. You feel me? We need a Umar interview on the couch. You know, shit, I'm waiting for that one. You know, but yeah, man. Yeah, man. So things are changing the way that they should be. Things are moving the way that they should be. You know, individuals are revealing the truth the way that they should be. So I respect what Cat Williams and Monique is up there doing. I saw a video that kind of bothered me. I saw Stephen A. Smith having his 2 cents about what Shay Shay and Monique was talking about. And I said to myself, I get it. Okay, now, Shay Shay and Stephen Smith, don't they got a show together? So he now feels obliged that he's trying to do what Shannon Sharp did by expanding his audience and his niche into more of a hot button topics type of thing. But if Stephen A. Smith is watching, sit down, my nigga. Sit down. That ain't you. Sit down. Get your hairline fixed. Sit down. Get them plugs, my nigga. Pause. Sit down. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, have a seat, fam. You know what I'm talking about? Like, nobody fucking asked you. You know? This weird nigga, bro. He got on there and try to shit on Monique. He get on there and try to talk to her real sideways. But I'm like, damn, you didn't have none of that energy for Cat Williams, though. How dare you get on there and try to talk to this lady sideways like that? But you ain't have none of that to say about Cat Williams. He was talking about, oh, she looked like she bitter and whatnot. You damn right she bitter. Fuck all of that smiling and beguiling that you niggas like to do and whatnot. And y'all be getting robbed. Y'all sit next to the same person that probably ghetto gagged you and whatnot. You sitting next to the same dude who smacks you. He grabbed your package like you was a Terry Crews. He Terry Crews niggas. Y'all be sitting right next to your supervisors or your managers or your agents or your white label heads who grab your package, and you don't have none of that energy for them. You don't be having no smoke for them. You don't talk greasy. They be making gay jokes and whatnot and coming at you, and you don't even say pause, nigga. You weirdo. You know what I'm talking about? You got some nerve, Stephen A. Smith. And you from the Virgin Islands. I'll make it a no-fly zone. Stop playing. We will revoke. They don't have passport. Nigga, we will revoke your driver's license in the Virgin Islands, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? The only place that you'll be able to visit is Jeff Epstein and St. John's, nigga. because you won't be able to walk through St. Croix. You keep acting up, bro. Keep acting up. How dare you talk about our good sister like that? She wasn't bothering nobody. But at the end of the day, she was addressing people who've publicly shitted on her, like DL Weird Ass and DL Hewley. I got special smoke for him. Lee Daniels, he was behind Precious. I said to myself after I saw the movie Precious and the credits was rolling, I was like, if I ever see Lee Daniels in them fucking streets, bro. If I ever run into this moist ass nigga right here, this moist giant, he's a moist giant, right? He's a tall, moist giant. What? If I ever see this nigga, because I saw what he was doing with that movie, and I'm like, yo, you were behind a lot of negative tropes and how like you were one of their lapdogs. You are a fucking my nigga. I see what you are. I see who you are, right? So Lee, she got at Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry. We already know. I mean, if 100 people say that it quack like a duck, I gotta be a duck. I gotta be a duck. You know, everybody says the same thing about okra, corn free, right? Everybody, everybody says the same things about being exploited, about the weird energy, about the fact that these people are out here doing them all kind of ways. I mean, everybody can't be making it up. So how dare Stephen A. Smith say that our sister is bitter and she's echoing the sentiment of a Taraji P. Henson because Taraji ready to spill the beans. You know what I'm talking about? She waiting for that fucking color purple check to clear. She can't go that deep, but I bet you a Taraji on Shay Shay couch. Give it about 2 years. She gotta, you know what I mean? She ain't ready to spill the beans just yet, but give it about 2 years. She gonna be on that couch twerking, letting it all out, letting it all out. Them people ain't making things up. It gets a lot darker than what you even think. There's rumors of Oprah being a whole madam, bro. There's rumors of Oprah leading all of these black women to Harvey Weinstein's dungeon, bro. Dungeon. Dungeon. Ain't no old creepy Jewish man knocking Holly Berry off on his own. He's getting help. Them niggas ain't hollering at women. They got madams for that. I was in the industry. I'm gonna share something with you. I used to work with a madam, and I'm not gonna put a name out there and whatnot, but she wasn't, when I say madam, she was providing women to a millionaire who liked to basically knock them down two at a time, right? And this millionaire sex drive was so crazy that he was probably knocking about 5 or 6 a night, right? So she was basically there to broker the deal. Like, you're gonna get her a fur coat, right? Okay, cool. All right. What don't you do, sis? Oh, you don't do that? Okay. Oh, yeah, she doesn't do this. So don't make her do that. All right, cool. Y'all go get it in. Right at the Trump Towers, nigga. You know what I mean? And them girls was pulling up willingly to get knocked down. You feel me? This was like 97, 98 back in the days. And it wasn't like she wasn't a madam. She was a business person who was a manager, but she was doing madam work. So I know how it works. Women in power, the same way that they had the woman working with Jeff Epstein, Griselda, Maxine, whatever her name is. This is what women in power do. Women in Hollywood is running women like madams. Come on now. That's what they do in the music industry. That's what they doing in Hollywood. That's what they doing in Magic City. It's the same shit that you saw with the lady. Remember in Diamond? Remember what's that movie? Players Club. Remember Players Club? Remember the red bone chick? She was the madam. You said Heidi Fleiss. I mean, we talking hood madams. Not here. I mean, this is a hood madam. Hood madams. Older, what they call crones, right? They call them crones and whatnot. Those is madams. They leading young women to get knocked off. And they'll help you get a better price than the $40 that you was getting knocked down, that you was getting when you was a renegade hoe on your own. You know? But you got powerful men who they'll have, and to be honest with you, the madam is not a woman who, they'll get powerful men and they'll let the woman know she's the liaison, right? They might even have her on a monthly retainer. Oh, Ronnie, her name was Ronnie, right? The red bone chick, Ronnie from Players Club. They'll even put a retainer. Here's $1,000. Here's some bag money. Here's some shoe money. Here's 10,000. Here's 100 bands. Keep bringing them to me. Keep bringing them hoes, because I don't have to work hard for them. They just you providing them to me. It's like an assembly line. The shit was like an assembly line, and it wasn't. People would make it look like it was all, bro. It was some horny women that wanted a superstar to knock them down, and that's the arrangement. They was making arrangements. These it wasn't no underage women. These was all age. They might have been younger, but these was not no fucking petty. It wasn't no young women, and they wanted to be with a star. Because anybody watching this right now, just keep it a buck. Who's your celebrity crush? You know what I mean? I just want to see how transparent my audience is and whatnot. Who's your celebrity crush? My celebrity crush was Pam Grier. You feel me? Celebrity crush. I would have did anything. I was contemplating time machines, time travel, all kind of shit, just so I could pull up on Pam Grier when she was ripe. You know what I'm talking about? I was infatuated with her beauty when I was younger. I don't know why, but that's just what it was. It's crickets in the fucking chat right now. I'm like, who's your celebrity crush for the women? Mostly the one I want to know. Who's your celebrity crush? Mine said Jada Kingdom. Bomba Clyde just got put on to her. Lord God. Awagwan. Awagwan. Okay, Jay. All right. You said OBJ, but he's acting up. Yeah, he's knocking Kim Kardashian down and Drake at the same time. Okay. Thelma from Good Times. Bomba Clyde. I was on Thelma's body. You know what I mean? I was on Thelma's body. You dig? Amara La Negra. That was one of my crushes too. Quabena. That was one of mine. Look, I took a screenshot of this was before Love and Hip Hop. This was like 2 years before Love and Hip Hop. I had ran across a picture of her on Facebook when she was like a Latin star and whatnot. It was love at first sight. I promise you. I took like 8 screenshots of her and I started doing a research. I Googled her and shit. Vanessa Williams, right? Yeah, I had the article on Playboy too. Yeah, she was one of mine. Jada Pinkett. Okay, so Mos Def, Chris Brown. All right, so boom. So women and men have celebrity crushes, right? We have people who we have on our bucket list. Like, you know what? If it was to happen, it will. If I ran into this person, it's gonna go. It's going down. It's going down. You said don't do him like that. He's a Scorpio, but definitely not. Nigga, you saying that OBJ don't grab his ankles? He's not giving ankle grab to you. He's not giving him and Drake in the pool together to you. He's not giving him and Drake in a hot tub. That he's giving that for me. He's giving that for me. Yeah, the Jet Magazine Beauty of the Week. Let's just leave it at that. So imagine if everybody got your celebrity crushes. So we all human, right? I just wanted to take a human check that make it seem like we all human. We all get it, right? So if you had a liaison that was able to be like, you want Chris Brown? You do you really want Chris Brown? I will pull up to the Trump Tower tomorrow at 8 o'clock. You feel me? And not only are you going to get Chris Brown, but he gonna get you a fucking car or a fur afterwards. You probably gonna pull up to the motherfucking Trump that night and have a goddamn tent outside and wait for the fucking time, wait for that alarm to go off, and then you running up there and you going crazy. You going crazy. You feel me? You going crazy. So that's what was going down back in those days. They was going crazy over Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? And he was knocking them down like bowling balls, like bowling pins. You feel me? And that was one of my first introductions to, organized prostitution. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is. I mean, y'all heard about Mike Tyson outside. I'm not telling nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? I ain't telling nobody business. Y'all know his body. This nigga knocked down the whole Brooklyn damn near back in the day. He fucked everything moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be clear. All of that money that he blew that on box. He didn't blow it on nothing else. He got on coke later on. That went to tricking. I seen it. Yes, Kenya Moore before reality television. I concur. But then after I seen how she was when she started talking, I was like, I'm scratching that off the list. Some women is great, before they start talking. That's why when Instagram came out with video, it helped the game and it fucked it up at the same time because I had to unfollow some of my crushes. I was like, wait a minute, she sounded like who? She started talking and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Jody sound like a fucking like a runaway bear or something. Like, what's all of the gruffling come from, man? Like, you sounded like you was living the soft. You look like you was living the soft life. You sound like you a truck driver. Unfollow, you know. It's mental, right? Everything is mental. My shit is mental. Like, I need the whole package. You dig? I need the whole package. Like, you can't be sounding like motherfucking Smokey the Bear and looking like Penny in the face. You know what I mean? It's just not working for me. No. But it's crazy, man. You know, shit is crazy. But so is life. Like I said, I've seen so much. You have no idea. I've seen so much in this lifetime. When I was twin, when I was in my other avatar, they called me twin back then, or filth more. Oh man, if I came out with a Tubi series on that life, that's crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I might have to write a tell-all book one day, but it was a wild fucking life. That's why I tell people, I done lived about 2 lives already. You know what I mean? Like, this shit right here is boring as hell. People be like, yo, you don't be excited about this conscious shit. I'll be like, fam, this shit is like, it's torturous. It's fucking torturous. It's some of the most boringest things that I've ever done in life. I'm reading books and I'm fucking doing lives and I'm talking to people like, this is not my life. This is not what I used to do, bro. I'm a fucking jet setter. I'm used to standing on couches. But it is what it is. You can't be one thing forever. Can't be one thing forever. You got to evolve and you got to move past. So I tell people, this is my community service. This is me giving back because I've gotten so much out of life. You know what I mean? I've gotten so much. So this is definitely me giving back, you know? Because if I wasn't doing this, bro, I would be on your timeline acting a goddamn fool, living out my third childhood like everybody else that I grew up with from around my way. You know? They all online. They ain't grow up. They don't want to grow up. They still Toys R Us kids. You feel me? They still Toys R Us kids. You know? But she said LL Cool J, Bruce Lee, Johnny Depp, Tupac were my celebrity. Oh, you got it. That's a respectful lineup. We could tell a lot about your taste by your crush. Royalty said Bernie Mac's TV wife. I'm gonna have to go rewind and check that out. Afro Goddess said Denzel. Sanaya Lathan, Alicia Keys. Woo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody got taste, I see. You know what I'm talking about? Candy Burris. Yeah, when did she started turning into like eye candy? What the fuck? When did that happen on her? You know what I mean? How did Candy turn into a motherfucking hottie like that? You know what I'm saying? But she definitely be giving that energy. She definitely be giving out that energy, you know? Mm-hmm. Oh no, I let me stop playing with y'all. I love what I do. I'm clowning, I'm trolling. I love what I do. You feel me? I wouldn't be rather doing anything else. I went to the club and I felt like I was gonna die in that bitch. I am not I'm not for the clubs no more. You know what I mean? Like I went in the club, I literally was gonna lay on the floor and just let people walk on me. That's how much I didn't want to be in that bitch. Like I am so different these days. Like I'm not who I was. I don't even think I could go to a strip club and be the same. You feel me? Like, I love what I do. You know, I wouldn't trade this for anything in the fucking world. It is not, it is the one of the most strenuous, stressful, you have no idea the type of shit that this shit is. However, I don't have to worry about my life. People be like, yo, Red man, you be out there saying a bunch of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't fear that them people is trying to do fam. You don't know where I came from. You should have seen me when I got my fucking when niggas try to cut my arm off. You should have seen me when niggas try to stab my brother in his throat. You should have seen me when niggas pulled a gun out and clicked that shit and the bullet wouldn't go off. You should have seen me with these fucking gorillas in the jungle, nigga. Like, no, I'm not. Who's gonna be afraid of an invisible foe? I don't even know these niggas that I'm talking about on the internet. The ops on the other side. I don't. Them niggas is not my neighbors. You know what I'm talking about? I don't fear that stupid shit, bro. You know what I mean? I don't fear none of that. That don't put no fear. I done had death threats and emails and that they done hacked my computer and took it over and all kind of shit. There's no fear whatsoever fucking with because it is once you understand that you're locked in because once again, I'm not identifying adversaries. I'm not identifying enemies nor foe because a nigga can't even get on my level like that. However, when I have some people that I'm exposing, and when I got some people that I'm, shining a light on, I feel the power of millions upon millions of ancestors that are standing right there with me, bro. And they're like, you have nothing to fear because your truth does not deserve any type of fear. As a matter of fact, sometimes I feel the opposite of that. I feel powered up. And the more that I dig, the more that I step, the more that I reveal, the more that I research, the more that I uncover, it's actually returning power to me that I lost inside of jail cells when I was being a dumbass nigga. You know what I mean? But me being a dumbass nigga was just my rites of passage. It literally was the same thing as a caterpillar being in a cocoon turning into a butterfly. Because unfortunately, and I say it like this, and I'm not a proponent of men being locked up. I hated jail, but that's our rites of passage these days. I don't know anything else that could qualify as a rites of passage where I've seen caterpillars disappear and come back butterflies. You other than the armed services and a lot of people that I know coming home from the armed services, they are coming home more issues than niggas coming home from jail. How about that? They're not blossoming. They're not turning into greater versions of themselves after going overseas and killing up babies and women and innocent people. But there's a group of men right? Because all of the big willies is coming home now. I was telling somebody this the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact. All of the big willies, all of the heavy hitters from the 80s, right? All of the legends are coming home. What are they coming home to? What kind of energy are they coming home with? Is it of any coincidence that damn near all of them are coming home preaching peace? And I had a problem with that at first, but I had to meditate on it, and I had to look at myself in the mirror, and I had to tell myself, nah, fam, don't, because I had a video, I was going to put a video out. No, fam, you can't do that, because you are going to spite the people who are trying to change stuff for law. I had to beat myself up and punish myself for trying to attempt to get them people and put them in a more negative energy, because the video that I was going to say was, nigga, we don't need no peace. All you niggas coming home with all of that peace shit. We need war, nigga. We didn't ask you for peace. There's enough peacekeepers in the fucking streets. But y'all the niggas that destroyed our communities, you have some fucking nerve coming home trying to preach peace, and we're at war. And I had to warn myself. I had to check myself and say, nah, that's not a good message. These men are trying to come home and atone. Sometimes I don't think it's genuine, but who the fuck am I? I'm not judging jury. I would rather them come home and be like, nah, we messed up. We want to change some things. Nah, we want to talk to the youth. Nah, this street shit ain't what it is. Da, 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 da. Like, I respect that. But what had happened was, behind the wall in the last 20 years, you had legends from the streets. You had OGs, killers, hardcore niggas. They got introduced to the Moors behind the wall. They got introduced to their Black history behind the wall. They got introduced to YouTube with all of the shit that was going on in 2014 with House of Consciousness and all of that. They got put on all of that shit, bro. They got put on the books that people was writing. They got put on the documentaries. They got put on to mad shit behind the wall. And you have legions and legions and legions of Black men and women coming home on some God body shit. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You feel me? I'm definitely here for it. They went through a rites of passage. We cannot throw them away. They have power. They have prestige. They already got their hands dirty. They know what work is. These are active people. They will put in work if they have to. You know what I'm talking about? And they're coming home willingly to be on your side versus being against you. Some of y'all wasn't even alive. You don't know the terror that some of these niggas were spreading through the hood and whatnot. You think these young niggas that are out here killing shit is doing something? You don't know what the fuck was going on in the 80s with these killers and these kingpins and the shit that they was doing during the crack wars and whatnot. That's who's coming home. The fathers that was taken out of the home that report was talking about, they're coming home. They're coming back into society. They're coming back into a digital world that they don't even understand no more. You feel me? So the OGs are on the way home. They home and they coming home and they need to be heard. I be listening to some of the podcasts and, be like, okay, that's good wisdom. You know what I mean? Respectfully, I hear these brothers. I hear them atoning and whatnot. They're atoning for what they did. They're trying to find peace inside of their hearts and whatnot, so they don't die with a heavy heart. Okay? They're trying to apologize to society, to these crack babies and shit like that. And they don't really know how to say outwardly, I'm sorry, but they're trying. At least they're trying. At least, and that's not all of them, but at least they're trying. The penitentiary system has become the official rites of passage over the last 30 years for melanated men and now women. And what I mean by rites of passage is you could die in your rites of passage. you could get washed up. You could become a vegetable fucking around if you don't get through the rites the right way. Children, they have rites of passage in Africa. They drop your ass in the jungle. All them children ain't coming back. And that's the same thing with the penal or the penitentiary. All them niggas is not coming back to be God by. They not coming back right. They not coming back upstanding. They not coming back with their manhood intact. And that's the court. Nobody said the rites of passage is trial by fire. It's trial by fire. It's the same analogy of pressure bust pipe or make diamond. Trial by fire. We at war, right? So how else you gonna how else will you shape these men into being who the hell that they were originally supposed to be? Trial by fire. Trial by fire. Niggas getting shot up a whole bunch of times and whatnot. Trial by fire. People are flirting with death, and they death is giving them they tongue kissing death. Trial by fire, and getting and snapping out of it. You know, shit. You know what I mean? You got people pulling out of fucking comas and all kind. Yo, it's a lot of crazy shit that our people go through. Rites of passage. You know, I know certain people that's, you know, them bullets, that hot lead slow their asses down and made them motherfuckers pivot real quick. It made them motherfuckers pivot and think about something better to do with life because they saw that light. They was like, yeah, I ain't ready to go. I ain't ready to go. We know that the streets is a lie. We know it's we know it's a lie. We know it. We know it. It's not the end all be all. God bless anybody that got to die in these streets. It's not, it's a stepping stone. It's not the end all be all. People thought that there was ceilings and whatnot. It's no ceilings, bro. It's no ceilings. It's no ceilings. The hood is not the ceiling. You could go past that shit. You could get your passport now and get up the fuck up out of America and go around the world and whatnot. And you could be a legend. Yeah, shout out to Mecca Audio. It's my guy. Super ignorant. It's my guy. But you know, he tells his jail story. But Mecca Audio, low key, is a super legend in many hoods. You feel me? It ain't no, you know what I mean? It's not speculation around who he is. Like there's name brand people coming home and they want to clean their hood up and they want to connect with people that's doing the good work. You feel me? Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And I pray that when more people come home, they're going to come home to more activity, right? Tangible shit, institutions and whatnot, neighborhoods or communities that are being put together where they could be absorbed in those communities and they don't have to deal with recidivism or trying to get back into society where they feel completely like an oddball, and then they either have to pick up an 8-ball or they got to pick a gun up or they got to pick some work up in order to keep up with these young niggas. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want to bring them in. We want to nurture them and we want to help them with their quote unquote transformation, because it's a lot of people in this community who we had to be patient with them so they could turn into who they are. Right? Everybody did not come into this community polished. Everybody did not jump out the window polished and ready for the world. No, we had to be patient with them. We had to work on them. Some people had to get put through the ringers and whatnot just so they could be proven. It's not easy. This is not an easy one. This is not an easy road. This is the road less traveled. I shit you not. It's gotten easier over the years because some of us have made it like that. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you have dirt roads and they get paved and whatnot. We made the ride a little bit smoother, but shit, it still is what it is. It's still a challenge, right? And it's not rewarding. You're not gonna get your rewards in this lifetime. Don't look for it. No, niggas is not gonna. You're not gonna be a legend while you breathing. You know what I mean? I've already made peace with myself that my legend, my shit will hit when I'm gone, and I'm good with that. You know, because I wouldn't be able to do the work that I'm doing right now if I was not in this certain, if it was anything other than what it is. I wouldn't be able to do the work. You know, I wouldn't be able to do the work. Oh, you went to Spofford, Foxy Moon? Yeah, Spofford was where they was sending us back in the days when we was juveniles. I didn't make it to Spofford. I went straight to Rikers. I never went to Spofford, but Spofford is where the youth went. That's when you was under 16 and they got your ass, you was going to Spofford, which is a gladiator school, right? That's what Mike Tyson and them was. It's a gladiator school, right? That's why I even understood Mike Tyson in his quote unquote. I understood his proclivities. I understood why he was who he was back in the days in the 90s when he was out there just, being he was like he was, he was let's just say he was very promiscuous, but it was giving a little predator vibes, you know? Oh, you said you went to visit. You was on your scared straight shit. Yeah, it was it was one of those. It was one of those. Scare your ass real straight, right? You feel me? Yeah, Spotford. But this is a non-rewarding game right here. Don't look for no praises while you breathing, right? Just look how that shit goes down with the Master T. They don't get what they deserve while they're here. You get it afterwards. They gotta run your shit and reevaluate everything that you've done, and then then you'll get taken care of. But it ain't happening like that right now. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, people would be like, "What you mean, Red? You know what I'm saying? You mean poor righteous teacher?" No, no, it's not about money. No, not at all. That's not what I'm talking about. The money is there, like money, but money is not the end. For people that don't got money, and you think that the road to anything that you're looking for is at the end of money, I'm here to let you know, my friend, that's not where it's at. And you be like, well, just give me something, and I'll be the judge. Well, go get it then. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna give it to you, but I'm here to let you know that's not the end all be all. If it was the end all be all, it wouldn't be so much people with money super miserable with no fucking clue as to what to do with themselves. That's the illusion. Don't fall for that. You want your spiritual bank account to be lit. That's the cup that you want to runneth over. You want your spiritual bank account to runneth over. You want the ancestors to fuck with you the long way and extend you lines of credit, not TD Bank or fucking Truist and all of that stupid shit. What does that mean? I mean, that's the human pursuit. It's cute and everything. I'm not. I'm a proponent of good credit, but while you getting your credit clean and you getting your credit up, nigga, work on your spiritual credit. Work on your community service. What does your social credit look like? What does your social credit look like? When your ass die, is more people going to talk positive about you or they going to shit on you and forget about you a week later? What's your social credit look like? What you know what I mean? What kind of work did you put in with your hands? How many lives did you save versus how many lives you took? Because the new shit with the women is, I want to kill her. I want to kill her. I want a nigga to kill something. Do you know if you lay up with a fucking killer, you're not going to have a good night's sleep? That nigga's jumping out of he might pee the bed, bro. People who are killers, they have a lot of, they might have to put them on dope because they don't have settled minds. They're being haunted by the motherfucker that they killed. 7 times out of 10, it wasn't self-defense. So that motherfucker took an innocent life. Okay. You don't want that karma. That person put their phallus in you. You're going to get all of that fucking negative karma. You don't want that. You don't want that energy on you. Anybody who's a killer will let you know the spirits that they take haunt them. They don't go away. They haunt them. They see them in their dreams. So you laid up with a killer, that nigga jumping out of sleep. Yeah, you might want to get with the opposite of that. A brother who gives life. Somebody who saves lives. Somebody who resurrects the dead. That's more fashionable in these days and time. That'll give you a bigger reward. Like I said, my focus is on the spiritual bank account. And that's a balancing of the books. This pursuit for fiat and whatnot is leaving motherfuckers spiritually bankrupt. As poorer than the poorest person in a shanty town. You know what I mean? You go to places like third world countries, right? I don't like calling them that. Third world countries, right? And them people is happy. How is that? Spiritual bank account. They into spirituality. They getting their spirit right. They focusing on, they got children that love them. They know that the real money or the real currency is that energy, that energy that they get, that unconditional love that they may be getting from their progeny or their wives or their village or their parents and whatnot. Shit like that. That's what you could take to the bank. That's what you could take to the bank. That real social credit, not the social credit that China is dealing with, the social credit of when you walk in a room and everybody salutes you. You feel me? When you walk in a room and you don't got to hide your face. When you come amongst your people and you could tell that you raising up the energy just by being, because everybody lights up. I like that type of energy. That's currency to me. Okay. That's a real currency to me. That's a charge that people could utilize, right, to help them in life. You could take that energy and you go in the booth with it. You could take that energy and you go into the studio and make a picture with it. You could take that energy and you could write a poem with it. You could take that energy and you could use that shit to charge you up to go to work the next day. Whatever. Just don't compromise the real wealth for the illusion, the shit that we got to deal with while we on this planet, because that's not the real wealth. It's inanimate objects, not real. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna wind this thing down. I'm gonna wind this thing down, and I'm gonna encourage everybody to be in the building to support what it is that we're doing, because, like I say, I'm bringing the six goddess to Atlanta, right? So she could have a conversation that y'all said y'all want to have. And then I know that some people might be shy. Might be too shy to even say that they want to have that convo, right? So we're going to pull up with the sister and we're going to have this conversation. I'm going to enjoy every minute of it, right? And it'll be controversial, okay? It'll be somewhat controversial, and that's good, because controversy is good. Controversy is good. And then after that, we're going to have a good brother on there. He's going to be controversial in the things that he says, because the reason why I say that is because nobody agrees with everything that one person says. There's always going to be someone who's like, I don't know about that. But that's why we are here, to have communication, healthy communication. We got to talk. We don't got to shout. We don't got to scream. We don't have to shame. We don't have to point fingers. We don't got to make fun of each other. We don't got to do none of that. We just got to sit down, have something to eat, and chop it up. You feel me? And I also have an announcement coming up. We're going to be doing all infused, quote unquote, gatherings. I'm bringing Third Eye Thursdays to a live audience, the same way that I'm bringing Melanin Monday. We just signed a deal last night. You know what I mean? We are bringing Melanin Monday. No, we're bringing Third Eye Thursdays to a live audience. Third Eye Thursdays live, though, is going to be a little twist on it. So Third Eye Thursdays live is going to be live. Your third eye, that shit is going to open, because this time we're going to be doing infused everything. So it's going to be very 420 friendly, infused pizza, infused drinks, infused bakery product like donuts and cake and whatnot. And also other things will be infused. We'll have a whole infused menu. We'll be encouraging the family to participate, you know what I mean, in the goodies and whatnot. And we also may do some shit like, sipping paint. We may do some extracurricular activities to express our creativeness. You know what I mean? Maybe some karaoke. I don't know. We're still figuring it out. But what we do know is that we're going to be having dinners on these Thursdays, and we're going to be introducing our newest quote unquote partners who we've been partnering. And we're also going to be introducing our flowers, our newest flowers, our strains, the red and blue pill strain that will put you on your ass. Okay. I'm just here to let you know. It will sit your ass down. That's how strong it is. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Cash App is right there. If you've considered yourself to have a good meal today before you leave the table, just leave a tip. You know what I mean? That's how we do. We spread love the Brooklyn way. That's how we was raised. You dig? So stay dangerous. Y'all stay out of trouble this weekend. You know what I'm talking about? Stay focused and whatnot. And we will return on Monday. We might even be here before Monday. We might pop up. I know Blue Pill has his Sunday service. I might be doing Sacrilegious Sunday. I'll let you know. Shout out to the cats. Shout out to all of your cats. Shout out to the dogs. People be letting me know that they pets fuck with me, and I fuck with the pets. I'm a big pet person. You know what I'm talking about? I'm big on the pets, parrots and cats, and even the goddamn hamsters and whatnot. Yeah. Oh, you want the abundance PDF? Okay, let me drop that in there. The abundance agenda, right? Shout out to everybody who joined me for my class where we was building on the abundance agenda. The abundance agenda, that's a whole class in and of itself. I'm going to be doing some IG videos about the abundance agenda. All right? Let me drop that in there. Go and check that out. What that is what that is that is it's a study, right? It's a study done by one of the lead quote unquote investment groups, right? I believe it's A16, Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z, right? A16Z, they are behind many of the like unicorn companies, billion-dollar startups. This company is behind a lot of the startups. So they put a report out for anybody that's trying to get funded to the tune of millions of dollars from these quote unquote angel investors and these venture capitalists. The report that they put out is the report that you will follow to the T, right? To build your new AI companies, AI apps, anything dealing with artificial intelligence. They basically put a report out yesterday that said that we are officially in what is known as the abundance agenda, right? So the abundance agenda speaks to the fact that, let me even share it, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to just talk about something and leave people in the blind. This is important. This is of utmost importance because it speaks to something very fresh, a new report that just popped up. It's new information, it's empowering information, and it's something that I feel that we all should be aware of because, once again, it'd be a lot of shit going on that we're not aware of while they're distracting us with mundane things, and they be getting right to they get to the bag, they get to all kind of shit underneath our noses. Okay, so this is the abundance agenda. This is the article. This is the PDF that I dropped in the chat room and whatnot. This has to be unpacked. I can't do it in one sitting. I could do it in one show, but I can't do it right now because we already 2.5 hours. This shit is going to take about 4 hours. So I'm doing a free workshop. That's where I'm doing this strong in. I'm doing a free workshop, a free workshop. So anybody that wants to be a part of the free workshop, this free workshop, I'm going to be breaking this down piece by piece by piece because I promise you, it might not look like a lot right here, but this shit is going all the way in because it's showing you where the money is going. Okay. Remember, we said we was gonna break out of the plantation, right? We said that we was gonna get our own shit popping. We were gonna be CEOs, controllers of equity and operations, right? And we're gonna be owners. So reading reports like this is what is going to put you. I don't want to try to figure it out. I don't want to try to guess. Fuck guesswork. Anybody that works in corporate, you know that they don't deal with guesswork. They deal with reports. They deal with research. So this is millions of dollars they put into this research, and they put this report out, and I got my hands on it, and I'm sharing it with you, and I'm going to break this down this weekend. If not Saturday, then Sunday, okay? We are, once again, in a new world. And because we're in a new world, there's new opportunities for you to become a part of the new world. You could create your own world, right? Wellness, right? They got a bunch of shit, bro. This shit is heavy. So we belong to a new society, a new world. We belong to a new, quote unquote, everything. There's new ways to make money. There's new ways to spend money. There's new ways to blow money. There's new ways to invest money. There's new ways to lose money. Oh, Chinese year. Oh, the year of the dragon is mañana. Oh, shit. Let me go in the lab. I'm going to have to get busy. Let me go ahead and work this. I'm going to have to build this. Tomorrow is the New Year's. Say less. Say less. Shit. The year of the dragon, and I'm the dragon. I'm the dragon. 75. No, I'm a rabbit, right? I'm the rabbit. But yeah, we finna turn it up in the year of the dragon, y'all. So you said Sunday, please. Yeah, I'm thinking Sunday because Saturday is such an active day. You feel me? I might go fuck around with my Chinese folk and get at y'all on Sunday, the day that I'm freshly in the new year, the dragon. And that's a great time to talk about the abundance agenda. Just meditate on that. The abundance agenda. You know, they talk us about the rainbow agenda, and they talk about the agenda of the Russians, and the agenda at the border, and the agenda of the illegals, and all of these fear mongering. All of the fear mongering, but they never talk about the positive agendas, the abundance agenda. Ye are rich. Ye are, always tell yourself that. That's my mantra in the mornings. You have to affirm your greatness, especially in these days and times where the energy is wacky and whatnot, and it's a lot of weird energy going on, and it's a lot of negative vibrations coming off of your computer and shit like that. These algorithms is playing with your mind, auto suggestions, incubus, succubus. You got a lot going against you. Abundance agenda. Fuck all of that. Abundance agenda. Ye are rich. Affirm it. Affirm it. You live in the abundance agenda. Just with the introduction of the Apple Vision Pro, 2024 now is the year of mixed reality. 2023 was the year of AI. 2024 is the year of mixed reality, right? And that's a fucking layup because nothing. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. If you're scared, get you a tutor. Don't be scared because, damn it, this shit has opened up about 100 new income streams just for the fact that they have augmented reality, mixed reality, spatial reality, virtual reality. It's up, my niggas. It's stuck. It ain't never gonna change. It's niggas is walking around with machines on their face. We in a different day and time. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be intimidated about. You dig? Is it on KTL University? No, I'm going to be doing a free workshop, and it would basically be just through Zoom. I'm going to announce it on Instagram, and you'll have to sign up through Instagram. I'll have a registration form. You sign up, and then boom, or you could sign up through Zoom, and then I'll have your information. I'll send you the link on Sunday. We'll do the Zoom. It'll be a free Zoom for everybody. It's free. I'm not charging no bread to break down some shit that's free. I'm giving you all of this energy because I need you. I would be, it's going to make me a better businessman. It's going to put me in a better position. It's going to put me and my team in more, because the information is what's the fact that we are restricted from certain information. That's what's holding us back. That's what's holding us back. You know what I mean? That's what's holding us back. We got to spread the love. That part. We got to spread the love. Me holding on to information, it's not going to do anything for the information. That's one of the problems with our people. We fucking gatekeepers for information that's gonna help us. Nah, I'm coming out. I'm giving up the information. F that. Real quick. I forgot to say that. I had to get into this real quick. So Vladimir Putin and Tucker Carlson broke the internet. You feel me? It broke the internet. There's some very strange things going on that side. There's a civil war about to brew on that side. Stay your monkey ass out of the middle. Let these people work their affairs out. They're about to go to war with each other between now and the next 5 years. These people are going to be knocking each other off for real, for real. They don't like each other. They could lie to each other, but so long. There's already a war going on. There's multiple wars taking place, all wars, right? Because people have been hoodwinked to think that all wars are physical. They're not. It's wars of ideas and concepts. Vladimir Putin is winning that war. His shit broke the internet. He was washing America in this interview. Right? He's a formidable foe. This nigga is sharp. Okay? He's not a pushover. He ain't dumb. He know what he's talking about. It's not like he's lost or anything. He's not Joe Biden. He's not incompetent. You know what I mean? He's a strong man. And this interview, it's you know, there's gonna be a lot of pro-Russian, Europeans. They're going to push back against. He bodied the Ukraine. He gave the whole fucking history of the Ukraine. He bodied them niggas, bro. He bodied them. That's what they was fearing. This whole war with the Ukraine is wild propaganda. You feel me? And if anybody has their children or their loved ones over there, you need to go get them the fuck up out of there. You know what I mean? That don't got nothing to do with you. So he said that they're denazifying the Ukraine. First, asked whether Russia had achieved its war aims. Putin said, no, we haven't achieved our aims yet because one of them is denazification. The claim that Russia is seeking to denazify the Ukraine is widely seen as a code for the removal of the country's democratically elected Jewish president. No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying denazify, and that means what the fuck he said. It's a bunch of Nazis over there. He said we got to get rid of those people who support Nazism. And that's what I heard too. He ain't making it up. Them people over there is the same people that's over here. Is it real? We gotta read. I've been reading, y'all. I've been reading my ass off. And I've been listening to podcasts. And it's not just reading. I'm listening. I'm listening to some YouTube video. Man, my mind's been blown over the past few months. Shit that I'm learning. I'm relearning shit. That's why I told people this shit is a learning. This is a learning moment. Niggas talking about what you got to do with me. It don't got nothing to do with you if you don't take the world's stories as a lesson. If you're not in school and you're utilizing all of these opportunities as a learning, quote unquote, modality, then it means nada. It means zilch. But for a person such as myself, I'm becoming more, knowledgeable about not just what's going on now, but some of the history that may have been overlooked from millennia. So I could put into proper perspective who certain people are that are around or who certain people are that are in power and what got these people into power and what the fuck is going to take them out of power. How you even going to know how to remove somebody from power if you don't even know what got them in power? It's crazy. You know? It's crazy. But he was going in. He was going in. He dropped a lot of shit. You know, I can't review the whole speech right here, but he was going in. He was shitting on I'm talking about he was defecating. I didn't catch Dr. Valentine's lecture. I gotta watch that. I know that shit was deep. He said it was 11 hours. I know that it was deep. You know, he's a war strategist. He's a chess player. You feel me? He's a chess player. He turned the heat up with that interview. And undeniably after that, maybe before people was guessing, but there's no way it's gonna be such an ugly sweep of Joe Biden. This nigga might croak right there at the fucking right in the auditorium. It's gonna be such a sweep, yo. It's gonna be such a landslide of Joe Biden by Donald Trump. It's gonna be ugly. I don't even want to be in America on election day. I might be on a continent or somewhere. I don't even want to be here. He's gonna wash that boy up in ways that it's gonna be ugly. It is gonna be ugly. He's gonna wash him. He's gonna destroy him. It's not even gonna be close. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't even gonna be close. You know, the most incompetent, backwoods, upside down administration I've ever witnessed in my goddamn life. Yeah, he talking about he ain't losing his mind and actually lost his mind at the same conference. Come on, at the same goddamn press conference. Joe Biden, Rickety Ricks. But with that being said, y'all, love and light to the family. I appreciate everybody. Let me see if we could share some music, you know what I'm saying, before we get out of here. Hit y'all with some bars. You know, we got the show. Okay. Let's go to this. All right. Mm-hmm. 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 All right, boom. Tell me if y'all can hear that.
You niggas is Google, I'm ChatGPT mixed with a Bing. Lift every voice.
Let's go. Brat.
Red pillar.
Brat. Y'all hear it?
I'm crushing the socials. Rushing through Ukraine, touching the locals. Quasi-Kodo, touching the coastals. Ethiopia, touching the opals. And quasi-nobles, kissing the ring. You niggas is Google, I'm ChatGPT mixed with a Bing. Lift every voice without lifting a thing. The baby was born with the gift for sing. I'm the less Elon, straight out of Pelon. I'm victory lapping, watching history happen, mystery cracking. It's the elitists attacking the fetus, they packing the seats, I'm cracking like Cephas.
Take it back. Turn up. Turn up. Turn up.
Red pillar. I'm crushing the socials, rushing through Ukraine, touching the locals. Quasi-Kodo, touching the coastals. Ethiopia, touching the opals. And quasi-nobles, ass in the ring. You niggas is Google, I'm ChatGPT mixed with a Bing. Lift every voice without lifting a thing. The baby was born with the gift for could sing. I'm the less Elon, straight out of Pelon. I'm victory lapping, watching history happen, mystery cracking. It's the elitists attacking the fetus, they packing the seats up, cracking like Cephas. They say it won't happen again, like Gay getting back with Adidas. He back with the heaters, back in the sweepers, all black like a back of fajitas. Used to get stacks for the features, now niggas they pay us with straps on the back of their sneakers, just to come stack with the teachers. We made them a promise and made us some comments, they paid us some homage. We married the game and they gave us Madonna, no maiden, no honor. Rebuking the priesthood like Sinead O'Connor. If I take the breath, God give you to breathe, and remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee. I train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee. As I mumble on Pro Tools. Spaceship, I could hover and cloak too. I abduct and then probe you. Got the tongue of a toad too. On the rumble with Goku. It wasn't even close. I thought somebody told you. I be munching on gold shrew till I grow you like I jumped on a toadstool. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm hearing I'm the fairest of them all. I clearly am a pharaoh and a god. There is no comparing me to y'all. Repeat a mantra manifesting wealth. So me and all my family have held. Destroy the world and build it back better. My mind, I'll build a planet by myself. Unbelievable. I'm achieving the unachievable. I'm conceiving the unconceivable. All the demons I summon speak Hebrew. We play peekaboo. Unpredictable, unexplainable, inexplicable, undefinable, undescriptable, underrated, unequivocal, unforgivable. Feeling like I become invisible. Underground like the mud and mineral. Industry is so fucking pitiful. Only signing the thugs and criminal. Honestly, I would love to kill a few. Treat a rat like a blood and crip would do. Kid in school, I would punch the principal. Treat the system like what would Hitler do? If I take the breath, God give you to breathe, and remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee. I train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee. Dodging the rainstorms, gotta be chained on, frozen like brain freeze. Rolling like 18, swollen like 8 fiends. From the borough where they take cream. Shit, we throw in the mainstreams. Leave a nigga stiffin' in steak greens. Look, y'all sweeter than pastries, cheapin' on lace squeeze. Got a nigga face ski. Say cheese, had to rub it in like grapeseed. Pillar bleed blue like Grape Street. Spitting over break beats, slipping off her waist beats. I got the gas, baked beans. God is a nap that can make me. Not in an app, make cream. I got it in the bag, rake leaves. I did dirt since my late teens. Now it's a must that we stay clean. Establish trust, stay cream. Added up with no late fees. Mad as fuck when you waste cream. It's adding up through the late fees. Mars attack, that's a space beat. Mars attack like a hate speech. Mars intact like we make drinks. Mars is back like a lace string. Look, roll up some trees, we go pour up some tea. Flow like a CD, you know that it's me. Pablo appearing on Holy Ghost 3. Throw us a beat, we go bon appetit. Home, I'm a beast on the road, I'm a freak. We don't vote, we don't speak, that's the code of the street. If I take the breath, God give you to breathe, and remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee. I train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love and light to the family.